Get 'em, Jimmy, where Loshak at? The bottle's getting empty up the crack and we stacking chips. All of it's what I want, plus money winners, that's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone, I prefer elevated pub sports radio. Time to get educated, get produced, leave the juice, letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call a truce. They getting slaughtered, can't forget Jeff and low baggers in the chat. That's a lethal weapon, 'cause we be pubbing.
Yo, welcome to Pub Sports Radio. His name's Jimmy the Bag. My name is Peter Loshak. Today's Tuesday, March 14th. March Madness is here, Jimmy the Bag. Now, I don't know if I'm going to actually make any money with my bets during March Madness, but I know for damn sure if I lose money, I'm going to look cool while I'm doing it, right? Look at this. I am ready. I am ready. Look, do I look like I'm ready for March Madness? Trust me. I'm ready for March Madness, Jimmy the Bag. I made a few bets already. I did take a shot with Northwestern over Boise State, but you still got to feel it out. All the experts, all the matchups, people in the comments section, we're feeling it out. I'm excited. We're talking about all 10 games today in college basketball, Jim.
Yes, we are. Every
great
basketball game on the.
Yes, we're also going to talk about NHL, which is always interesting. Every Tuesday, NHL, teams that are terrible. How long is that going to continue? Teams fighting for their playoff lives. NBA, we're going to go over that again. And we got the comments section. And I'm feeling. I think it's going to be a winning day, Jimmy the Bag. How you doing, Jim?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm excited about March Madness. We have our March Madness NCAA bracket contest on our website right now. $50 entry fee. You need to join, Pete. We need you after you won the big football contest here at our channel.
Jim, look at me. Do I look like I haven't signed up yet?
Oh, you in already?
Trust me. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to win the contest, but if I lose, I'm going to look cool losing. I'm going to look cool doing it.
I'm really excited to compete with everybody. So that's up. It's $50 entry fee. That's up on our website right now, pubsportsradio.com. If you don't have an account with us on our site, you have to make one. But other than that, it's very easy, very simple. And I'm excited. I'm excited about the contest. And I'm so excited about San Antonio. Pete, I get to see you. I get to hang out with you in person in 10 days. 10 days. I get to be hanging out with Peter Loshak. Last week was wild. It's such a roller coaster ride. It was a really strong week for me. NBA, I went, and you know how bad of a year I've had in NBA. I went 11-2 on the week in NBA, and so I got some confidence up. I had a good Thursday, I guess not very good Friday, but a small slate. But in NHL, but it was a positive week, and then Saturday, a day that I often take off from NHL, I got killed. 0 for 4 in 4 games, and it hurt because the bankroll had been boosted heavy throughout the week. It was a huge double-digit unit week, and that hurt. College basketball was strong. NBA was stronger, and if I didn't get that slap in the face in the NHL on Saturday, I'd be really confident coming in here. We have a huge 12-game NHL card, so we got to get right after it. Yeah. Our producer, Jose Bouquet, is in Miami for the World Baseball Classic. He's been crushing, by the way, 4-0 on his videos that he's put out. So he's there. So we won't have the games underneath. Again, as soon as the show's over, I will timestamp it. And have that in the comment section for anybody watching later on in the day. Shout out to all the cappers in the chat. Viper MB, JW. You know what, Pete? I'm so excited to get to see you again and to hang out with, the big Ragu. And there's so many cappers I'm so excited to see. Jimmy Gomez just booked. You got Trot Wam and DJ Big Boss, Daby Cab, LJ from H-Town, Tease. It just goes on, and I'm just... I'm so excited, man. I'm so excited to be hanging with everybody. Connor Mack, Dutch Boy Fresh. It just goes on and on. It's going to be so much fun. Mr. Gogster is going to be here. We're going to head out to the airport together. So it's just, I'm pumped up. And I've been a little stressed being prepared for this huge slate. But I feel good. And you look.
Thank you very much. Yeah, the people say a lot of shit about me, and most of it is true. But one thing they will never say and can never say is that I don't fucking look cool almost all the time.
Viper MB in the house, J Dub, J Smooth, Dante Mack, the Nuke Worker, Serious Business, Andrew G, J Peasy, Jimmy Gomez, who's going to be rolling with us here in a minute. Kyle Hintley back in action. Kyle, we've missed you, man. Kyle, Kyle's bets are big boy bets. Pete, I often get very nervous. I always copy and paste what he's on because it's huge stakes with Kyle Hintley. RVD 420 there is Clint, started the Die Hard MMA podcast. Dav Fenn ready to get to work. Jose Bouquet, say hey, minutes 4-0, and we'll be 5-0 and posted soon. Rez Mob in the house. Rez, I hope you can make it this year. You were so much fun last year. Kyle Hintley, and look at that. Texas A&M Corpus Christi for 5K.
Wow. Okay. We will certainly talk about that game, won't we, Jim?
He makes big boy bets. That'll be the first game we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the 2 NCAA games and then the 8 NIT games. Let me have that copied and pasted here so I can discuss it. Right underneath that is our Ron Crawford with his spreadsheet play today. Bradley Braves plus 3. I'm going to copy and paste that so we're able to discuss. We move it here. Bradley, Wisconsin. Wow. I like that look. Bo Jackson, DC Capper, Ron Crawford, NHL spreadsheet play today is Vegas in regulation. We're going to start hammering that right now. DC Capper has 3 college basketball tournament winners for us. I love it. Let me pop the... I was quite wrong about this Vegas road trip. I really did think after losing in Florida that they would continue to lose. They have not. Winners of 3 straight. We'll discuss that. I've only made 3 bets on this NHL card thus far. Brian Watson, Rick J, Lucas Ryan, Subhuman Gaucho, Kyle Hintley, and ready to go. Browns Hughes, D, Slatsy, 45. Slatsy in the house. Says Habs got into Pittsburgh 3:30 a.m. on a back-to-back for his Pens team fighting for a playoff spot. Montembeau confirmed. Yeah, look, I just hate that they got destroyed last night. And so I haven't, but I was staring at it for a long time. Clint says, I can't believe the Sabres blew my reverse puck line last night. I hit plus 200 money line and minus 1.5 plus 400, but they missed an empty net. Gave up a softie to win by 1. That's tough. Chad Lehman says, keep an eye out for first half unders, first round of tournament between 4 and 13 seeds. Rocco Rogers on Vegas minus or in regulation. Pittsburgh money line to give him a minus 102 spot. All in on Vegas and Pittsburgh today. All right, let's get to work. Pistol Pete, Loshak. Thank you guys so much for joining Loshak in the bag here at Pub Sports Radio. And Dan Kelly says it best. He says, not 1, but 2 great faces.
Oh, hell yeah. Shout out to Dan Kelly. Yeah, a lot of interesting stuff. Texas A&M CC, they do have that big guy out, the defender out, which might matter here. I don't know, but we'll talk about that later. We'll talk about all this stuff.
We need to keep a real brisk pace through these 12 NHL games. So I told Daby Cab that he should be ready at 10 after 12 Eastern. So that's in 1 hour. 12 games in 1 hour is not going to be easy. So let's fire away. All
right, let's just start. And I might have to just run to get my water by the refrigerator. All right, first game, Winnipeg, Carolina. I don't know what order you want to go, Jim.
Yeah, that is the right order. Let's roll.
Dude, I don't know. Carolina, best team possibly in the NHL, 1 goal in their last 3 games. Total. That's total. 2 straight shutout losses. Wow. Where did that come from? What happened? I'm sure you can answer that a lot better than I can, Jimmy the Bag. They did outshoot their opponents in those games, and Winnipeg, has been winning 2 straight road wins in Florida. But those are vulnerable teams, and they got outshot in those games. So I'm looking at this. I didn't pull the trigger until because I wanted to hear what you had to say about it. But even though Carolina scored 1 goal in their last 3 games total, and they're a minus 200 favorite or whatever, I thought maybe Carolina minus 1 was a no-brainer. And if it loses, you just eat the loss. What do you think, Jim?
I took it further than the minus 1. I took them on the puck line at plus 120. Look, it's been shocking what's going on here. Let's discuss the odd situation. But, watching them struggle, then seeing Svechnikov go down, it looks like it's a torn ACL. So he's getting a second look from a doctor today, but it looks like he's done for the year. Anybody with Carolina futures got to be extremely upset to lose Svechnikov. And then not make big enough moves at the trade deadline. So Jesse Puljujarvi, who's underachieved alongside McDavid and Draisaitl, is now on the top line with Seth Jarvis and Sebastian Aho for Carolina. New Jersey now tied with Carolina at the top of the division. It looks like Carolina will then face the Rangers and the Met, and I know neither team wants that. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. Oh, shoot, that's Tampa, New Jersey. Sorry, thinking of the wrong thing. Let's move over here to the line history for this one. And, I still think, it's easy to say. You talked about the advanced analytics being all over Carolina.
To win the cup, not necessarily to, do well the rest of the regular season. Yeah.
Well, I don't think this is a huge loss, an absolutely huge loss. Carolina opening up at minus 198 at Pinnacle. Now they're minus 193. Total-wise here, this opened up at 6, minus 116 to the under. It's now a 5.5 or 6. I came close to taking the under 6. But I stopped myself. So it was minus 125 at the time. Stopped myself, looked back again in the morning. It was minus 120. So it moved 5 cents towards the over. And I was like, okay, that makes me feel a little better. Now it's back to minus 125, exactly where it was. There is Swiss Horton in the house. I love it. Stimmy OG, Travis Levine. Let's fire off here. So very quickly, the Jets 3-5-2 over the past 10. I still have Hellebuck listed. He's crucial to the game here. If you want the under 29, 20, and 2, 2.64 goals against average, 919 save percentage, 3 shutouts. I have Freddie Anderson listed. I'm not sure if it's going to be him or Peter Kochetkov. I do have Freddie Anderson listed. Carolina 6-4-0 still over their past 10. Their special teams 32% power play, 100% penalty killing. That's not been the problem here. Slatsy says Jets Canes under 8-1 last 9 in Carolina. There's Rob Garvey in the house. Jets are one of those extremely rare teams to go into Florida and win both games. They beat the Panthers 5-4 in overtime on Saturday, then beat the Lightning 3-2 on Sunday. They managed to beat the Lightning without their Norris Trophy caliber defenseman, Josh Morrissey, who's day-to-day with a lower body injury, 15 goals, 67 points, 102 block shots, 78 hits. He just does it all. He's been replaced in the lineup by Dylan Sandberg. They're also missing second-line centerman Pierre-Luc Dubois. He's missed 2 straight games, 5 of the last 6 with an upper body injury. Now, the initial injury was a lower body injury, so this is a second injury that's happened. He's having the best season of his life in the contract year. Kel Surprise, Dubois, you step up in the contract year and you don't step up for the rest of your career. I hope you end up in a Montreal Canadiens uniform, and I hope you play like we've seen throughout the history of your career, below average, underwhelming, meaty fucking ochre. They're also missing their 10th overall pick in the 2020 draft, Cole Perfetti. He's been really good this year. He's a young sniper, and he was not, 8 goals this year. Not really what he wanted, 22 assists, but he's second highest plus minus on the team for a young sniper. I think he's going to be a great NHLer. The Hurricanes have been shut out in back-to-back games at home versus the Knights on Saturday, then on the road against the Devils on Sunday. As you said, 1 goal over the past 3 games. They're now tied on top of the Met. I know this team has heart. And because I know Rod Brindamore, he's just as heart and soul as anybody in that's ever played in the National Hockey League. So I just expect them to bounce back here. I expect them to bounce back. Dan Kelly says, I hate those motherfuckers in every sport. I hate them so much too, Dan. And there's so many of them. And look, have you seen Bo Horvat's numbers since he signed his extension? He's done nothing. Just good riddance. But I'm on the Hurricanes on the puck line, -1.5 plus 120, Pete.
Yeah, wow. There's some interesting comments coming in on, Slatsy watched the Canes game last night. Missing Svech was huge. Yeah,
there's no doubt. It's a problem. Oh God, man, it's Svechnikov bobblehead night tonight. Oh God, it's heartbreaking, man. It's heartbreaking. That's what happens, in all sports.
So you think they have enough firepower to pull out a win here finally?
I cannot believe the Jets swept Florida without Morrissey and without a second line center. Obviously the Nemesnikov pickup has been very helpful to them. So yeah, Bruce Shad right in the house. What up, Bruce? I do not think Winnipeg is a juggernaut. Stimmy OG on the under 6. I took a long look at it. when you see a team not getting bounces, so this is basically the way I thought about it. I thought that the best angle for me would be the Hurricanes puck line. I get a plus line on it. And then if I'm right, then the only score really is a 3-1 or 4-1 game. And the Jets can score. And I don't trust the Hurricanes goaltending. So if I do think Hurricanes are going to win on the puck line, it just didn't correlate. If there was a 6.5 available, then I would be fine. It would correlate, but it just didn't correlate fully with the under for me. There's too many situations where I cash the puck line and I don't hit the under. So
all right, I'll make it official. Pinnacle line: Carolina -1, -125. Carolina -1, -125. I'll make that official.
Hurricanes -1, -125. So last week on the program, Pete had Columbus Blue Jackets -1 at like plus 535, and they were up 4-0. And my problem with that, I was so excited for you that I'd already planned out exactly what to tweet and all that stuff. I was, extremely.
But class shows late, and so a lot of times when you take those huge favorites, huge dogs, split it up and take the first period or something, because that's what I should have did. But that's all right. That's okay.
M13 leaning to the Jets money line. Slaty says Yari confirmed for the Pens. Sammy Comer saying Chesty confirmed for the Rangers. There's Nasty Nate in the house. He'll be hanging with us in San Antonio. I can't wait to hang with Nasty Nate. All right, let's move on. Next up for us, Capitals Rangers. Big game, Pete. You want to set a table?
Caps Rangers. Okay, that's not the order. Okay, Capitals Rangers. Washington pounded the Isles last game. People in the comments section, maybe you as well, Jimmy the Bag, were kind of down on Washington recently. They've won a bunch of games recently, though, and before that they were losing. And Rangers back home after a 4-game trip. They won the 2 games on that trip where they were big faves, lost the 2 games against tough teams where they were underdogs. So, and here they are as a big favorite. Big question for me, I guess, is Washington. Are they cooked, or do they have some life to them? Last 5 games or so, they seem to have some life to them. I was thinking as a dog here, maybe Washington first period, maybe take a shot with Washington -1, maybe team total over. What do you think?
No, not me. I'm not doing that. There's Nate Dogg in the house. Great to see you. Just one last thing on that Carolina game. If those of you who've played hockey, those of you who watched all your life, when a team is snake bit, 3 games go by and you can't score, you get 1 goal in, the floodgates open up. Mm-hmm. And I was not going to pay the juice required on the under 6. That's just I in fact, I took a long look at the Hurricanes team total, and you know what? I might move on a team total over 4 for the Hurricanes at a big plus money spot. Yes, I know Svechnikov's out. Yes, they've been shut up. It just doesn't work like that. There's bounces in the NHL. There's bounces in hockey. You get 1, you start feeling a little better about yourself. So I'm not going to take the under 6, but I wish you guys luck who do. Capitals, Rangers, Madison Square Garden. So for me, let's just take a quick look at the line movement here in the in this range. This one's going to be a lot of fun. Move over to the line movement here. Rangers open up -168. They're now -162. From a total perspective, they open up at 6, -118 to the over. They're now -116 to the over. Kemper, Chesty is the setup here. Capitals have been good on the road all year, 17-15-3. Rangers have not been good at home, 17-11-4. Both teams 4-5-1 over the past 10. Both teams playing with a similar power play, 20.7% for Washington, 21.9% for the Rangers. Washington penalty killing at 88.9%. Rangers just at 75.9%. Capitals snapped their 2-game losing streak with an impressive 5-1 win at the Islanders on Saturday. They're getting healthier, but they're still without star defenseman John Carlson, and Sonny Milano is sick and questionable. I'm not sure if he's going to be in the lineup. And Billy Frederick says Freddie Anderson was in the starter's crease this morning. Looks like he will be starting. That's who I thought was going to be in there. So for me, this is why I'm on the Rangers on the -1 line. They've looked very ordinary since making their big trade deadline moves. They haven't won in regulation since February 26th against the Kings. Now, they are 3-2-1 over that span. 4 of those games going beyond regulation. They most recently lost 3-2 in overtime at Pittsburgh on Sunday. They had a 4-game road trip, and they didn't look very good. They're working in new pieces, and they haven't won a game in regulation, as I said, since February 26th. I think that they come home and they play their first great game together. That's my guess of this hockey team. And I came very close to the -1.5 puck line. I decided not to. And I can understand people thinking that the Capitals are going to have a lot of value here throughout the end of the year because Ovechkin is going to demand accountability. That's fine. But my guess and my prediction, and I'm putting money on it, is that the Rangers play their first great hockey game since the moves. So I'm on the Rangers -1, Pete. I got -110 on that -1. Money line -170, puck line +145.
All right. Well, I'm going to not go against you completely. I'm just going to take the Caps first period +130. Caps first period +130. That's definitely not full game, Jimmy the Bag. You remember when we took Louisville first half +3.5, cashed easily, and then they got blown out the rest of the way. And we went against, I think it was, someone's play of the day was fading Louisville.
Oh, it was Ron Crawford. Ron Crawford.
Yeah, we both cashed. Hopefully that'll happen here. I think that the line, the Caps look like they have enough life for me to take them as a dog, at least first period. So I'll take Caps first period +130 as an official play, and hopefully we'll both cash.
Mark Sports Betting says Capitals team total under 2.5 in regulation of Pinnacle. I tell you what, adding Pat Kane and adding Tarasenko, I don't know if they're playing the defensive. I'm going to watch this game closely. You need to play a really tight defensive game, and like Fanatical Jim says, Capitals specifically with Tom Wilson always play the Rangers hard.
Yeah.
So I would prefer to have the Rangers in a line where I can win 5-3 and still get paid out. So I just don't know if I trust the defense and the accountability at this point. So I don't dislike it. But I need to see them play team defense first.
Yeah. So I want to reply to Rez Mob, who said he had an issue with the NCAA contest. Rez Mob, yes, that will be taken care of. I personally guarantee it.
I signed up, paid the $50 enter, and got booted. Cannot sign in without. Okay. We'll get you in for sure. We'll get you in for sure, Rez. So Rez, do you mind sending an email to pubsportsradio@gmail.com? That way it'll be looked at, by the guys who are running the website. So if you could,
and I will also send Jose a message right after this show.
Yeah, we'll get you hooked up. So Rez, I'm going to copy and paste that as well. Everybody will be taken care of, and we have till Thursday morning, right before that first game pops off, to where everything locks in. So I got you that copied and pasted, Rez. We'll take care of it. Thank you for mentioning that, Pete. All right, let's move on to the next game, Lightning Devils, and I have a move on this game, and then those are my 3 bets thus far.
Let's keep a brisk pace here. Tampa Bay lost again to Winnipeg as a big favorite. They're just looking like not that good of a team. New Jersey rolling, in general, pretty good. Not winning every game, but in general, pretty good. I was expecting the line to be bigger. When it came out, I didn't pull the trigger on it because I wanted to hear what the comment section and you have to say, Jimmy the Bag, but is it just a no-brainer play on New Jersey here?
By the way, Dominic Ricci saying Rangers defense not full strength yet, like in the over in New York. That might be a great look. Huh. I'm gonna put that note there. I might want to double back on because I think the Rangers I think it's gonna be a passionate hockey game. Dom on over. Yes, so Lightning are not playing good hockey right now. They do have Stamkos back from injury. He only missed 1 game. It looked like it could have been worse, a lot worse. But they have no Anthony Cirelli, and they don't have Pierre-Edouard Bellemare, so they don't have their 3rd and 4th line centermen. So that hurts them. That hurts them quite a bit. Taking a look at the line history here for this spot, you have the Devils opening up at -130. Now they're -135. This is at Pinnacle. Totals-wise, opening up at 6.5. -113 to the under. It's now -112 to the over. It got up to -118 to the over. Wow. So this under was plus money. That's fascinating. Let's just see what Bet365 has done with the under. It's a pick 'em there for the under. I moved on the under at -105, under 6.5 in this. Vasilevsky, Vanacek. The Lightning have to do something here. And the best way to turn things around is just accountability defensively. I think you're going to see it from the Lightning. The whole league is being put on notice by the Devils with the way they're playing right now. And Vanacek looked very, very good shutting out the Hurricanes. I saw right away. I was like, "Ooh, God, he looks good. He looks so confident in between the pipes." Tampa Bay 3-5-2 over their past 10, playing the 24.3% power play and 71.9% penalty killing. That shocking to see their penalty killing over the last 10 games at that number. Just not like them. The Devils, though, doing everything right. 7-2-1, 27.3% power play, 93.8% penalty killing. Literally, and things change, and the Devils haven't proven it in the playoffs. And Hughes has the toddler shoulders, and he could get beaten down in the playoffs. But at this point, right now, at this spot, the Devils are playing better than the Bruins. The Devils are playing the best in the league, but you can say the Bruins have no reason to push, and that's totally fair. The Bruins only need to be healthy right now. That's totally fair. All that's totally legitimate. But right this very second, I don't see any team playing better than the Devils right now. Lightning coming off their second loss in 3 games, 3-2 at home to Winnipeg on Sunday night. Devils coming off their third straight win, 3-0 at home over Carolina on Sunday to tie the Canes for first place in the Met. They've allowed 3 goals over their last 3 games, and the Lightning are going to step up against the Devils because of all the talk about the Devils. Newark saying Bruins are bored. That's a complete legit statement. Newark says Tampa not the same as in past years. Leafs might win a playoff round this year. I said might. They might. They just might. But here, I think I couldn't believe that there was a hook on it. I was expecting a 6. I saw a 6.5 juice to the over, and I was just adamantly not agreeing with that line. So I'm on the under 6.5 minus 105.
But you don't necessarily like the Devils here.
No, because I have a vividness bias. A lot of us do with this Lightning team, and it's cost me quite a bit of money this year. I have a bias with them. They every time you think, oh, is this dynasty over? It's not. Is it over now, finally? I don't know. But I know that everybody's talking about the Devils being the class of the league all of a sudden, and the Lightning are going to take this game seriously.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna go with what I thought. I'm gonna take the Devils -1 plus 124. Current line at Heritage, Devils -1 plus 124. And I agree with your lean to the, or your pick on the under. Concerned about why the total has gotten bet up. Is Vasilevsky okay still, or is he just like an average?
He hasn't looked very good. Hughes and Jimmy Gomez leaning to the over. I would say that this is my most confident spot on today's board, the under 6.5 in this game.
Okay.
Pete is on the Devils -1 plus 124. Chase White in the house. What up, Chase? And Jimmy Brown Hughes. If you guys are on the other side, best of luck to you. Trust your gut, trust your capping. That's what got you here. So if you guys like the over, then stick with it. But I would legitimately say that this is. Well, I like the Hurricanes a lot, but I would legitimately say that this is my favorite spot on the board.
Okay, let's move on, Jim.
Let's move on, and let me just set this one, and you can set the table. But our next game, Vegas Golden Knights, Philadelphia Flyers, and our Ron Crawford has given us the spreadsheet play today on the Las Vegas Golden Knights. Shout out to Ron Crawford. Take it away, Pistol Pete.
Well, that pretty much says it all. Yeah, you got a team that's good and winning going against a team that's really slumping badly and losing. And is it a no-brainer play on the favorite, or is there some reason to believe that the dog will come to play here? Philly, 2-11, last 13, just having a hard time scoring. Now they're coming home, and Vegas goalie problems with their injuries, but they continue to win. Won 6 out of the last 7. Huge road favorite here. And, Ron Crawford, if Ron Crawford likes Vegas here, makes sense to me. Don't overthink it. Maybe we just don't overthink it and take Vegas -1, money line 1.5, whatever. What do you think, Jim?
I still don't trust the Knights, but, man, they've won at Tampa, at Carolina, and then on Sunday they beat the Blues 5-3 as part of this road trip. I did not expect them to keep shining on this road trip. My first thought was, what number am I going to get on the Flyers? What number am I going to get on the Flyers? Am I going to get a nice, big, juicy number? And it's not. It is not a big, juicy number. What does that tell you? I mean, it tells me that this is the type of spot, in sports where I think the dog is very live. But and the fact that this was down to plus 147 yesterday, there was a huge move when this line came out on the Philadelphia Flyers at Pinnacle, a 17-cent move in the first 15 minutes at Pinnacle. It's come back, but not
Yeah.
that much. It's come back because the public's going to be betting Vegas here. Also, the Flyers play the unders at home and overs on the road. Newhor saying can't lay it on the road. And then Sandstrom is confirmed Hart is out sick. So Sandstrom 1-9-1, give the cartel saying that's the move back, I guess. That's the move back. And I guess that's what keeps us off of the under. But look, I do not, I shouldn't say I don't believe. We've seen goaltenders get hot in a short period of time. This guy was kicked out of the Kings dressing room team that he backstopped them for 2 Stanley Cups. And Johnny Quick, has a point to prove. Maybe he's capable of proving it. I find it hard to believe that he could be so terrible for so long and then just turn it on right now after they ditch him, but it's possible. Billy Friedrich says Sandstrom outplayed Kochekov in that Carolina game. So the Knights have been so good on the road this road trip. The Flyers have lost 3 straight. They scored 3 goals over that span. They come in off a 5-1 loss at Pittsburgh on Saturday. I was very curious about that Pittsburgh game. I was like, this is such a huge rivalry. Are they going to step up against Pittsburgh? They did for a little bit. Konechny remains out on IR. Brendan Lemieux, Wade Allison, left winger, right winger, respectively, are both day-to-day. I don't want the Knights here, but I am biased. I need them to lose. Because I still want the Oilers to be live in that division, which each day passing, they look like they aren't. So I think that this is a very fishy line, and maybe it's as simple as Ron Crawford makes it to be. Very possible. But I'm going to look up Sandstrom a little bit more. Is there anything that interests you in this one?
No, I mean, Philly's having a real hard time scoring, and if Ron Crawford likes Vegas like that, then I was thinking maybe, I don't know, Philly team total under, but, taking a home team total under 2.5, minus 106. But, yeah, I think I'll pass. But definitely thinking about Philly team total under 2.5.
Sandstrom's been very good with the Phantoms this year, but not with the Flyers. Very good with the Phantoms this year.
What's up with Vegas goaltending? They've had so many injuries.
It's just you have a guy in Johnny Quick who's trying to prove everybody wrong right now.
Yeah.
And he's been very good doing that. Slatzy says, where does Philly offense come with connecting out? Well, Kevin Hayes has to lead everything and do everything. I get it. Maybe the under still is live. Even with Sandstrom in net. The Flyers have been playing the unders, and I don't want the Knights. And let's just see what that total is. That total opened up at 6 minus 111 to the over. It's now minus 111 to the under. It's now minus 107 to the over. I wonder if that keeps moving in that direction with Sandstrom out. But yeah, I just this is exactly the type of game where I think that the home dog is dangerous here. Maybe I'm putting too much emphasis into me not believing that the Knights. Look, the Knights have been great all year on the road. All year, 27-5 on the road. So why am I expecting them not to be good here? Maybe it's a mistake.
All right, I'm going to pass, but I'm definitely leaning Philly team total under.
I'm leaning to the under in this game here. I'm leaning to it, but I'd like to see where it goes with Sandstrom announced and study Sandstrom a little more. All right, let's roll on. Habs, Penguins next up.
All right. If there was a favorite that was a no-brainer play, I would have thought maybe it was this one. Maybe Ron Crawford, Pittsburgh minus 1.5 might be the spreadsheet play of the day. Of course, Montreal on a back-to-back, blasted last game as a huge dog, lost 7 in a row, although 5 of those losses were by 1 goal. So they're playing close, but Montembeault got scotched last game, and he is supposed to be starting again here. Now, does that mean he's going to come back and play well? Maybe so. But Pittsburgh is playing for their playoff lives. They're playing relatively well. Won 7 of their last 9. They need another win here for the playoffs, and feels like Pittsburgh should roll here, unless for whatever reason we think that after the bad loss, Montreal will have something to prove here. But why would they? Maybe they do. I don't know. Who knows what's going through these players' heads? But all signs point to Pittsburgh rolling.
Yeah, I'm with you. It does concern me that the Habs looked as bad as they did. It wasn't. It was Allen that got completely lit up and smoked in that hockey game. Yeah, Montembeault came in and allowed 2 goals. So Jake Allen allowed 6 goals on 15 shots. He was pulled 4 minutes into the second period. Those of you who are watching the game, Lehkonen got hurt, broken finger, I believe. So we'll see how long that he is out for. But that really hurt.
You're right. You're right. Sorry, it was Allen who got Scott. So who's starting here?
I think they said that Montembeault was confirmed. I have Montembeault. I capped it thinking that it would be Montembeault and they wouldn't just go right back to Jake Allen.
Right. I apologize. I capped it. I was doing a lot of shit going on, Jimmy the Bag. You're right.
It's all good, buddy. It's all good.
That changes it. Right.
Montembeault, 12, 13, and 3, 3.28 goals against average, 905 save percentage. He's been good at times. We already heard from Slatsy saying that the Habs didn't get into the Pittsburgh airport till 3:30 this morning. Their power play at 12%, their penalty killing at 65% over the last 10 games, and Montembeault is confirmed, and Yari in for the Pens. Thank you, Slatsy.
So that actually makes me like Pittsburgh more then, because if Allen was in, then maybe he'd be like, fuck this. But Montembeault's like, I'm already pretty good. I don't have anything to prove right now.
I do not know how the Habs are doing this. Look at their injuries. I mean, they have there's 6 different centers listed as out. They lost Christian Dvorak recently. Now, Christian Dvorak's day-to-day, Rem Pitlick day-to-day. Both Jordan Harris and Justin Barron, 2 defensemen, are day-to-day. Joel Armia is sick now. He was just added to this. I mean, you already got Monahan, Byron, Kirby Doc, Brendan Alexander, Wi-Fi, Cole Caulfield. I mean, it's just Slavkovsky. It's unbelievable. It's absolutely unbelievable. And Steve G saying Lehkonen broke and finger out 4 weeks. He was playing so well. So, the problem here is just the fact that the Habs got destroyed so badly last night and everything's against them. And you have this huge move on the Penguins. Let's just take a look exactly what that move is. The Penguins opened up as huge favorites at minus 322. Now they're minus 346.
Yeah.
And you said the first 5 losses of this, how many have they lost in a row? I think 7. But the first 5 losses were all by 1 goal, and 2 of them came in shootouts. Then they lose 3-1 to Jersey on Saturday before losing 8-4 last night. And then for the Pens, newly acquired Dmitry Kulikov is hurt, and Nick Bonino is out as well. They're both out right now. And, in all honesty, I kind of feel like the Habs could show something in the first period. I really do. I really do. This is just too big of a favorite spot, and I guess it makes sense. But Penguins are minus 380.
Yeah,
I bet 365. I mean, that's nuts.
Yeah, it's shitty that the line has moved, but I'll take Pittsburgh -1, minus 261. Current line at Pinnacle. Pittsburgh -1, minus 261. I do think they roll here.
Pittsburgh -1.
Minus 261, current line of Pinnacle.
261 for Pete. Coin saying Riddick likely for Winnipeg. Those of you who still like the under, I might not like it as much, knowing that you're not going to have Hellebuck in net there, or likely. That's a tough spot for those of you who still like the under here. So Pittsburgh for Pete. I have some interest in Montreal in the first period. I don't know if I have the balls to do it. Slatsy says Matheson's being easily Habs' best defenseman returns to Pittsburgh. I guess I have some. I don't think I have the balls to pull through with it, but I'm going to put it here. First period with some question marks. So I have some interest. Billy Frieder says the line moved to 6 in the Canes game. I thought it was always 6. Billy. I thought it was always 6. Let me just move over there. Wasn't it always 6? What am I missing here? Let me just go to the total here. Oh, moved back from 5.5. Of course. Sorry. Yeah, so it dropped down to 5.5 at Pinnacle. It's moving back to 6 with the announcement. Thank you. Imp looking at both teams to score. Yeah, just 5. Yeah, my bad, Billy. I'm not thinking clearly. Not used to 5.5 these days. Pete's on Pittsburgh -1 and minus 261. There's Don Play in the house. Sweaty Butcher ready to get to work. I do have some interest in Canes or in the Canadians' first period. But let's move on to Red Wings, Predators, Pistol Pete, 8 p.m. Eastern, Bridgestone Arena, Nashville, Tennessee.
Okay, Red Wings, Preds. Let me see where. Oh, right. Sorry, that was Chicago. Okay, so Detroit in general, struggling. Probably will get rolled here after the Boston win. I did have them in that one. I was able to suss that one out. And Nashville playing very well, returning home now after the long road trip. Won the last 2 in OT. but in general winning. And I guess the question is, is this going to be a big letdown spot for Detroit after the Boston win? It might be. I think I'm going to pass on this one. I'd love to take a shot with Detroit first period, just maybe because they have a little bit of they're on a little bit of a high after the Boston win, but that was a huge win for them. I know it. And how do they respond in this game? I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah, it's the same thing going on. I want to fade Nashville as much as possible. I do not believe in what they've been doing, but they've been doing it. They opened up minus 163. They're now minus 149. So a move towards the Red Wings. That was a huge win over the Bruins after they almost beat them, the game previously. And there's been no move on this total, juice to the under. Moved 1 cent towards the under. I have Husso versus UC Saros. By the way, Dami Gunricci saying Penguins first period 1-5-4 over their past 10. Imp 13 says Wings money line, no goal first 10, first period draw. Detroit still just 3-6-1 over their past 10, 19.4% power play, 77.8% penalty killing. One of the shocking stats for me is the Predators' special teams over the last 10 games. It's just spectacular. And I don't know how they're doing it. You have Ryan Johansson out for the year. Philip Forsberg still on IR, even though they expected him to be back by now. Maybe he returns tonight. I don't know. Juuso Parssinen is also day-to-day with an upper body injury. So there's 3 centermen out of the lineup. Mark Borowiecki and Alexander Carrier, both out with upper body injuries. Slatsy says Wings 1-6 last 7 versus Preds, but I would take Wings or nothing. Steve G says can't trust either the Wings or the Preds. Detroit comes in off their second win in 3 games, 5-3 at home over the Bruins on Sunday. They lost 3-2 the night before, and they were up 2-0 in that one. So the Preds come back off their second straight win, 5-4 in overtime at the Ducks on Sunday. I want nothing more than to fade the Predators, especially when they're favorites. But I'm with you. How do the Wings react here after playing the best team in the league to playing a team that's not going to make the playoffs? That's what kept me off of it, and that's what I failed to have an answer for.
Yeah, I'm going to pass, but if you gave me a free play, I'd definitely throw it on Detroit first period, just because there might be a little bit of a high from that win against Boston,
Yeah, I get that. I mean, I think they're a better hockey team, but I'm going to have to stay off, unfortunately. Unfortunately. But let's move on to Bruins Blackhawks.
Okay, let's see. Here we go. Bruins Blackhawks. Where are we? Yeah, again, Boston lost at Detroit last game. That was the second of a home and home. Now they've lost 2 of 3. Before that, of course, they have been rolling. And the question is, does Boston think they have something to prove here? Do they want to atone for their recent losing? My guess is probably not. You know what I mean? Chicago back home after the 3-game trip. They lost all 3, but they were a huge dog in each of them, and all 3 were close. And they've actually done great at home over the past 15 games or so. I have some numbers here, Jimmy the Bag. Last 15 games at home, they're actually 8-7. But because they're such a huge dog every time out, they're actually plus 9.5 units in those games, going 8-7 over the last 15 at home. So here, 5 of those games they were a 2-1 or bigger dog. So I'm thinking that at least maybe take a shot with Chicago plus 1.5 or plus 2 or something like that. Just don't see Boston laying the hammer down, even though they're off of a couple of losses. And Chicago, they've been good at home against their relative to their market valuations for a while now. Now they're playing the best team in the league. Why would this be an exception?
I think it was beautifully put there. I don't personally have the balls, though, but I agree with you. I don't think that the Bruins care that much that they just lost. The main thing, they need to stay healthy. There's been a 40-cent move on the Bruins from minus 396 to minus 436. Totals wise, it's opened up at 6. Juice to the under minus 111. It's still right there, under minus 111. Robert Franklin looking at the puck line for Chicago plus 150. There's big show picks in the house. Dommy Gunn saying Bruins playing out the stretch, says he's off them until the playoffs. They have little to play for. Left wingers Nick Foligno and Taylor Hall remain on IR, and then they lost Hampus Lindholm. He's just day-to-day, but they lost him to a foot injury. Chicago looked really good at Tampa. I mean, that was 1-1 until a minute left in the third period. They played better than that score indicates. Sharon Pulliam in the house. Great to see you, Sharon.
Dude, they're 8-7 at home over the last 15 games. That is a mediocre hockey team right there. Big sample size.
The Bruins have not lost to back-to-back. They beat Detroit. They were down 2-0. They came back and beat Detroit 3-2. But that's part of the fun. We don't have to agree, but they've not lost 2 straight games. So, all
right, I'll tell you what I'm going to do, Jimmy the Bag.
Sure.
I'm going to take Blackhawks plus 2.5 minus 125. Plus 2.5 minus 125. I was going to take the +2 at plus 115. But I'm like, why not? If Boston's up 4-3 and then they get an empty netter, I want the win, not the push. So I'm going to take Blackhawks plus 2.5 minus 125.
It's a wild bet, man.
Yeah. I think Chicago is going to fight the whole game, and Boston will probably fight 2 periods.
But Steve, this is part of the fun. Part of the fun. I am curious to see, but Bruins know what's ahead of them. But I love capping with you, Steve. So this is just part of the process. Let's move on. Pete, moving on to Blackhawks plus 2.5 minus 125 wild. Next up, Senators Oilers.
Okay, Senators Oilers. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, this is another tough one. Edmonton off the huge loss to Toronto. Before that, they had been winning, returning after a 4-game trip and long rest. Then Ottawa, I'm not sure. My big question here is Ottawa good or bad? And that's what I want you to answer, Jimmy the Bagger. On the 5th game of a trip, lost 3 of 4, the last 2 by margins, but that last game they were kind of tired. It was a bad spot for them, a little bit forgivable. Before that trip, they had won a bunch of games in a row. So the big question here for me, the key handicapping factor is Ottawa. Are they good or bad? You tell me, Jim.
It's been surprised that losing 5-0 at Chicago was a surprise, a surprise. And then they come back and, Gokster was so confident in them on Thursday against Seattle. It's as confident as I've seen him, really. And they won 5-4 and Gokster looked great with the call because he tripled up in that spot. And, I think they're a good young hockey team. They're missing a second-line centerman, whom they have in Josh Norris, who's out for the rest of the year. It's clearly they're missing that. The biggest problem with the Senators, I don't think it's their forward group. It's in goal. I mean, you have Talbot hurt. You have your top 2 goaltenders hurt. So now you have these AHL goaltenders in trying to, replicate what NHL goaltenders do, and they can't do it. So I've Mad Sogard listed. He's 5-2-1, but he's a statue in there. I mean, this guy's so slow moving, 6'8", but he's not wearing Garth Snow's giant equipment. So I don't know. I think he's in trouble. Now, Stuart Skinner, I was listening to an interview about Skinner where they were just bragging about his confidence and how he bounces back and how he's had the medal and all that stuff. And then he got completely lit up and smoked at Toronto in a huge situation on Saturday. That was surprising to me because I thought, how in the world would Edmonton's brass not put Soupy Dumps Campbell in net there? I mean, what an opportunity they had to put the goaltender who's now having a terrible season, but against a team that didn't want to re-sign him at that number. I think it was a huge mistake by coaching and management there. A huge mistake. Dumb. Idiots. You had a chance to get some confidence from a goaltender that you paid a lot of money to going up against a team that didn't want him, and you didn't use him, and now Skinner gets lit up and smoked, and you have to deal with those consequences. But Ottawa comes in off its second straight ugly road loss, 5-1 at Calgary on Sunday. The Oilers got sort of embarrassed in that 7-4 loss at Toronto. Dominic reached his Oilers' best over team in hockey, 43-20-4 last 10 and at home, 6-3-1. Sens last 10 on the road, 5-5 to the over. The line movement, the Oilers have been at -201, all since it opened. The total opened up at 7, -108 to the over. It got to -114 to the over. I mean, I could imagine it going over, but that's not a number I want to mess with. Edmonton, 33% power play over their past 10. The Ottawa's not scoring on the power play, 10.5%. So, and Ottawa's penalty killing has been quite good, surprisingly, 89.5%. So maybe they could slow down the Oilers a little bit. There's nothing I trust in this game because I'm nervous that the Senators are going to play hard against a high-scoring Oilers team in the nationally televised game. So,
What's up with the Ottawa offense? They have offense? Should be okay. Is there someone injured, or what's the deal with it?
It's just that they don't have a second line centerman. And they use Giroux to win faceoffs, but he's a winger, and we saw it with the Flyers too. They don't like playing him at center because of the defensive responsibilities that they deem he's not capable of handling. They just don't have a second line center. So, you put all your energy in stopping Tkachuk and Stützle, who are spectacular. And then Chikrin really hasn't, found his spot there, with Shabbat. So, they're going to be a bet on hockey team next year. Here down the stretch, I think they have to answer for that 5-1 loss at Calgary on Sunday. They have to, right? They have to step up. I imagine both teams are coming out being embarrassed. It's a tricky cap.
Because I was thinking about Ottawa first period, or even getting cuter, Ottawa just to score a goal in the first period. First period money line would be like plus 140. Ottawa just to score would be like minus 170.
They have to play Skinner now. After Skinner getting lit up and smoked, you have to put him right back in between the pipes, I think. But that's, again, what a dumb idea for management not to give a chance for Soupy Dumps to get some confidence. Dommy Gunn says Oilers' second period over being a catcher for me last few weeks, especially when the first period goes under. Mm-hmm. Maybe this is a spot to look for if as long as you can hold out, if there's no goal scored in the first 8 or 9 minutes to move on the over then. But I see two teams with their backs against the wall after being embarrassed, and I don't know
how it's going to play out. All right, I'll pass, Jim.
Yeah, I'm passing on this one. Let's move on to Flames Yotes.
Flames and Yotes. Let's see. Yeah, okay. So Calgary, of course, crushed Ottawa in that last game, but again, a little bit of an asterisk there. It was a bad spot for Ottawa. They've now won 3 out of 4, Calgary, but before that, they had not been good. And Arizona, kind of like some of these other teams, playing kind of well, won 3 of 4, all as a pretty good-sized home dog. The one loss was at Colorado as a plus 400 dog. They went to overtime on the road. So they've really been outplaying their odds the last 4 games. Lost at home to Calgary 6-3 a couple weeks ago. So Calgary was clearly better in that spot. But I don't know. Feels like Arizona is young and playing pressure-free. Calgary is playing for the playoff lives. And once again, thinking one way or another, maybe Arizona as a huge dog is worth a shot.
I'm starting to love this Arizona team, man. I had them first period in full game against Nashville. They win 4-1. I didn't go back to the window at Colorado, but they were great in that game, losing 3-2 in overtime. And then I should have gone right back second half of back-to-back with them at home. They came back and won 5-4 against Minnesota after being down 4-2. They're a gambler's dream right now. In saying that, the Flames have now won 3 of 4. When are they going to put it together and push down for the playoffs? We've been waiting for it all year. Is that beatdown of Calgary at home? Usually if you have a team that just won 5-1 going into Arizona, you would love to back Arizona, but this Calgary team needs wins but desperately. And so it's kept me off of betting Arizona, who are playing the best hockey of the season. They haven't lost in regulation in the last 5 games. Right winger Christian Fischer and center Nick Schmaltz are both day-to-day dealing with lower body injuries, but I really I think Arizona's just going to be a great opportunity for us to make money for the rest of the year. But there's been a big move, 28-cent move over at, 28-cent move over at Pinnacle towards Calgary. And totals wise, this opened up at 6.5, minus 117 to the under. It's not minus 112 to the under. Totals, I just feel like Calgary may turn it on here. And I hope they don't. And I'm saying Yotes at home with a money bag. Gifted Cartel looking at Arizona money line and the over 6. I certainly wouldn't talk anybody off Arizona, but I have a fear that the Flames are going to be stepping up down the stretch. And so I don't want to be on the other side here after the Yotes have gone 5 straight games and the big comeback and all that. So yeah, I'm off.
So you think this is a Calgary smash spot, and the Yotes maybe after this game will have value once again, but after the OT win, that now it's like a down spot for them.
And I don't know if I wouldn't say it's a situational great spot for Calgary, just because they won 5-1, but I just feel like they've underachieved all year. We're waiting for them to put this streak together. They've not been good. They're not going to take Arizona lightly. that's what you want when you play Arizona. So I just feel like there's enough that make me uncomfortable backing Calgary.
All right.
Yeah.
I wanted to take Calgary plus, Arizona plus 2, but I guess I'll hold off for now.
I like them. I like Arizona. I have some fear with Calgary. Rick J, I'm on the Rangers -1. I think that after the 4-game road trip that they're going to play their best game. So I'm off of this spot, but I could understand backing the Coyotes because the market hasn't caught up with how well they're playing.
Yeah, actually, you know what? I'm gonna trust myself a little bit. I'm gonna take the Will Hill line, Arizona +2 -169. Arizona +2 -169.
Yotes +2 at -169. All right. Gifted Carcel said Calgary lost to Anaheim at home. Yeah, that's their one loss over the last 4 games. Look, do you think they're just gonna peter out here for the rest of the season? And Sutter's going to be fired, and and it'd just be a whole waste of a season for Calgary. It's possible.
Yeah, I think they're going to fight. But I think Arizona's going to fight in this game too. So I'm willing to take the 2-goal cushion.
No, I feel you. All right, let's roll on. And Kadri, Steve G saying, give us back Kadri. Calgary. Kadri is not having a good time in Calgary either. I mean, he's got a terrible plus-minus, and But let's move on. Let's move on to Stars Nucks.
Stars Vancouver, Dallas, of course, they're on a back-to-back. They won at Seattle yesterday. They're really, really rolling offensively, right? They've won 6 of 7. Offense is exploding. Vancouver, though, they've won 4 in a row. They're kind of good now too, right? Because with the coaching change, things are changing up a little bit for Vancouver. Ottinger will not be in goal for Dallas, I'm assuming here, because it's a back-to-back and he played yesterday. So I was a little bit surprised the total was so low at just 6 on the overnight line. Definitely thinking at very least Vancouver team total over, if not Vancouver to get a win. Don't necessarily want to fade Dallas right now with how they're playing, even on a back-to-back. But definitely thinking Vancouver team total over.
There was a push towards the Nucks this morning about 50 minutes ago. Big move towards them. They got down to +113 at Pinnacle. They're right back to +124. Totals wise, it's opened up at 6.5 -116 to the over. To the under, and there's been a slight move towards the over, so it's now -109 to the under at 6.5. Pinnacle opened this right up at 6.5. As you said, you saw some 6s on the overnight. Matthew Murray going to be in net. The other Matthew Murray, he's had 1 game in the NHL, and he looked decent doing it. Slatsy saying Stars, Canucks over 5-1 last 6 meetings. Millsy looking at JT Miller over 2.5 shots on goal. Demko is playing well. I mean, I imagine if Demko was healthy this year, Boudreau would still be the coach of the Canucks, and they'd be trying to make a push here for the playoffs, is what I imagine. They sure have gifted cartel, Arizona. Sure have. I doubled up on them against Nashville. I get it when anyone wants to back Arizona. I like them. Vancouver 7-2-1. Their power play not rolling. 19.4% power play, 84.4% penalty killing. That's improved enormously under Tocchet. Dallas, what scares me about Dallas is how many goals they're scoring without Rupi Hintz doing anything, without Pavelski and Hintz and the Robertson. Robertson still has 85 points, going to go for 100 points this year, but they're doing nothing. And they're scoring so many goals without those guys. They're a real dangerous team in the West. And I hate them. On the second half of back-to-back after their third straight win, 5-2 at the Kraken last night, Tyler Seguin's out of the lineup with a leg injury. Who cares? That guy, who cares? Canucks coming off their 4th straight win, 5-2 at home versus the Senators on Saturday night. I don't know how they're doing this. They have 4 defensemen out of the lineup. Philip Hronek's yet to make his Canucks debut, dealing with an upper body injury. But Travis Dermott, Oliver Ekman-Larsson is absolute trash. I mean, the fact that I didn't even want to get into it. The contract that he has, and I didn't even want to get
So you don't think that Vancouver, not necessarily to win, but I mean their offense, they've been scoring 3 or more goals most games. Yeah. And now Dallas on a back-to-back. Why would you not like Vancouver team total over? You think that their recent offensive competency is a mirage?
No, I think you might have found a very good bet here. I'm going to take a look at what it is here for me.
2.5 -150,
Yeah, I guess I would have to turn it into a 3 myself. My 2.5 is -180. Yeah, I think you've got I get it. I completely get it. I just have a problem, Pete. I'm just so angry as a Vancouver born and raised guy. I'm just extremely angry, and I just can't get over the anger. So I'm not seeing their games clearly. I hate Aquilini. And I don't need to get into the management decisions that they've made, but I mean, this year we started off the year with East, like what I think was possibly the best forward group in the NHL, and the fact that we're here is just horrific. They just the Besser signing was just absolute trash. So I don't see it clearly.
All right, well, I'll take Vancouver team total over 2.5 minus 147 current line at Pinnacle.
You got it. Let's move this over here. You got it. The Jim Benning era, it was just awful. Just watching a man put our city through, the worst possible scenarios just so he can try and keep his job was awful. I mean, sometimes when things aren't going right, you have to lose and regroup. And for him, the Garland, Ekman, and Larson trade, I knew it right when it happened, and no one else in Vancouver did. They all loved it. It's just Jimmy says, "Do you think Nils Höglander is a bust or too early to tell?" God, we had such high hopes for him. I mean, it certainly looks like a bust right now, but I think he's got the skill set that you got to give him a little bit more time and let him play down in Abbotsford. Yeah, Slatsy, thank you. Let's just move on. I want to smash my computer. I can't see the Canucks games clearly, and they've won 4 straight, and fuck them.
No, I hear you, Jim. The 3 things that frustrate me in life are wars, even after all these years, that the fact that there are children who don't have enough food to eat in 2023, number 1, is fucking what happened with Vancouver over these past. I mean, it's just I can't even handle it.
Thank you, Pete.
Sorry about that. All right. I didn't mean to disparage. All right. Let's move on, Jim. How about that?
Yes, let's move on. Islanders, Kings.
All right. Islanders, Kings. The Islanders blown out by Washington last game. Before that, they had been playing well, winning. And LA, man, this is a tough one. Off an OT loss, a big fade, but before that, they have been winning too. Both of these teams need wins. I know that the Kings have a couple of key guys out that should matter. So I guess free play right now, I would take Isles as a small dog, but I want to hear what you have to say. And maybe the Lions are dead on. Is LA deserving of being a favorite here?
Oh, definitely. Even without Kevin Fiala, definitely. The Islanders took a lot of early cash right away. So within this line opened up at Pinnacle yesterday at 216. By 243, there'd been a 12-cent move towards them from plus 120 to plus 108. I get it. It's moved back to plus 120 because a lot of people made a lot of money off the Kings, and it doesn't matter that they just lost to Nashville on Saturday. That was one of my losses as well. Totals wise, this opened up at 5.5. It's still at 5.5, about minus 115 to the over here. I was really, really disappointed with that loss at home to the Capitals on Saturday for the Islanders. It's one thing when you're losing. It's okay to be losing, but you have to show effort and heart. And they got 18 shots on goal in that loss. I mean, they just let go. And, now they fly all the way across the continent to play the Kings. I guess the more I think about this, the more, and Rocco Rod's saying this is officially line of the day, the more I think about this, the more I want to back the Kings here. The Islanders showed nothing. And I just couldn't place it. I mean, why would they? It was such an ugly performance. And they continue to be without Barzal, Pajot, Wallstrom, Koivula, Otto Koivula, the left winger. And so now you have this squad that's, Bo got his paycheck. Where's he been? Kings had their 5-game winning streak snapped in 2-1 shootout loss home to Nashville. They were outshot and out hit by the Predators. So also Carl Gunstrom is, could get back in the lineup after being a healthy scratch. Jake Burns says, yeah, I'm on Kings. Lost my last 5 bets on the Islanders. I'm sick of them. I guess I thought immediately for the Islanders too, but why? They're flying all the way across the continent. against a good LA Kings team?
I guess because in the NHL, unless you're like an absolute elite team, if you don't bring close to 100%, you're going to lose or get smashed. And, they had won a bunch of games. They were not winning every game, but a lot of them. And the Washington game was just they just didn't have it that one game. And when you have a team that's decent, that has one of those games, you expect them to bounce back next game. Do you think it was a bad character loss for the Islanders? I see it as just like they were playing well for a bunch of weeks in a row and had a down spot and got smashed.
Yeah, no, I get it. My first thought, of course, was the Islanders as well. I've got them to make the playoffs here. I want the Kings to lose. I don't want that to get in the way. I'm going to add the Kings -1 here. The Islanders team is not that good. The Pulock and Pelech I really like on defense. Noah Dobson, I like. Sorokin, you have the best goaltender in the game. But without Barzal and, Bailey's not playing well, they don't really have enough pass-first forwards here. And now they fly all the way across the continent into LA and enjoy some sunshine against the Kings team that just got out-hit and outshot. And Sladgy says, great call on Horvat, Jimmy. Have him in my pool. It was a dark day for me when the Canucks traded him. He's doing nothing, especially with Barzal out. Barzal's a big part. This was not part of my plan. It is now part of my plan. I'm going to add the LA Kings on the -1 line.
Wow.
I don't even like them. And let's get into this final game here. We're right on time. So we have 3 minutes until we said we'd give it 3 minutes and now 2 minutes to get into college basketball. So let's hammer this last game. And are you going to add anything in Islanders Kings?
I was thinking maybe Islanders first period, but I'll add that later on maybe if I want it.
10:30 p.m. Eastern, Blue Jackets, Sharks, final game on the board. Let's fire away, Pete.
Yeah, I mean this is the tank bowl, isn't it? But I mean, I don't know. Do teams really want to? It's like these players. It's not they're not playing for themselves, and you get a few percentage points better in the draft. I'm not sure if the tanking thing is really as big of a deal in a situation like this as people might think. I don't know. Considering that Columbus is a decent sized dog here, I was thinking this is basically a coin flip. And take Columbus. Both teams are terrible, obviously, but why not take Columbus as a dog?
It was my first thought as well. The reason why we can't, I think, is because they trade away Korpisalo. Then Merzlikins has had to go back to Latvia for a family matter. And now you have Michael Hutchinson, or Daniil Tarasov, who's being recalled on an emergency basis. You just can't trust these guys. I don't want, fading the Sharks at home has been the best angle in hockey this year. I mean, they've won 6 of 33 games in regulation. So, and then Columbus power play hitting at 30.4%. I want Columbus. I want Columbus here, but I can't do it with Michael Hutchinson in net. There's a reason why he doesn't have a team anymore. He's not in the NHL anymore. I mean, this was a highly thought of guy who was trying to, find a role with the Jets. So, I was the same way with you. I was like, I'd sure like to back Columbus here. I'd sure like to back Columbus here. And then I was like, this is just god-awful. I can't trust these goaltenders to do anything. Sharks open up -143. There's been a 6-cent move to Columbus. Columbus gone from +126 just to +124. I get that. Totals-wise, it's opened up 6.5 juice to the over -122. It's now more juice to the over. This is just a real ugly hockey game. Jackets coming off their 4th straight loss, 5-2 at home to St. Louis on Saturday. Sharks come off their 3rd straight loss, 5-2 at home versus the Wild on Saturday as well. The Sharks are missing 3 defensemen: Jacob McDonald, Radim Seamek, and Marcus Nudavara. If Erik Karlsson wins the Norris Trophy, I'm going to be extremely upset. Who cares how many points he has? His team is fucking terrible. He's a reason why they're terrible. Who cares how many points he has? The Norris Trophy for the best defenseman can't go to a team that's god-awful because he's not helped them win hockey games. I don't know who they could give it to. It looks like they're going to have to give it to him, but I hope he doesn't deserve it or get it. He doesn't deserve it. He's a fucking bum, man. You're going to score 100 points and be just a fucking bum on a shit hockey team. It never goes to the dirty areas. Can't push people out of the front of the crease. He's just a stat counter fucking bitch.
All right, Jim. I feel like this has got to be somewhat coin flippy. Columbus couldn't hang on against Pittsburgh, but maybe they can hang on against San Jose. We'll use the Pinnacle line here. Columbus Blue Jackets -1 +217. Columbus Blue Jackets -1 +217. Give me the bag.
All right, you got it. Blue Jackets -1 plus 217. All right, it is time for college basketball. So let's review all action. At this point, I think I might have one addition. I might, but the 3 bets I made before the show are still. I'm confident. I'm quite confident. Hurricanes -1.5 at plus 120. Pete's on the Hurricanes -1 at -125. I'm on the Rangers -1 at -110. Thought being after 4 road games that they're going to come home and play their best hockey game with the recent acquisitions. We'll see. Pete's on the Capitals first period plus 130. Dom is on the over in that one in Rangers Caps. And I do have some interest in it. I think I'll take a longer look after the show, but I think he might have nailed it for me because I think that the Rangers are going to score goals here. 6 juice to the over. I'm very interested in it. I think I'm going to do that. So then the under 6.5 -105 in Tampa, Jersey. I think that's my favorite spot on the board. Pete's on the Devils -1 at plus 124. I do have some interest in this Vegas Philadelphia under. I've had interest in it for a while, but Sandstrom in net. But hearing Billy Friedrich say that Sandstrom outplayed Kochekov last time those two teams met, that was a 3-1 loss or 3-1 win for Carolina, I believe. Ron Crawford NHL spreadsheet play today, Vegas regulation. Pete's on Pittsburgh -1 at -261. Look, if I was just firing out picks, I'd give out Canadians first period. Can I bet them? I got to make that decision after the show. Red Wings Predators, no action. Pete's on the Blackhawks plus 2.5 -125. Ottawa Oilers, no action. Pete's on the Yotes plus 2 at -169. Dallas Vancouver, no action. And I decided to move on the Kings -1. Pete's on the Blue Jackets -1 at plus 217. Yes, Mally Mal, Columbus -1 at plus 535. And they were up 4-0 halfway through the game.
You know, I jinxed myself as well. I was imagining all the jokes I could possibly make about that result, impending result. And of course, you do see it all the time. I was like, you know what? Class shows late. Would not at all be surprised if Pittsburgh comes all the way back, which is why they tend to be a good live bet. Teams like Pittsburgh against teams like, when you have a situation like that, and I thought about it. I thought about hedging out my bet with a live bet on Pittsburgh, but I didn't.
Yeah, it was tough to watch. Let's move on to college basketball and bring on your college basketball expert. He's had a hell of a season, being spectacular on the Saturdays as well, putting out his picks all year long. A great season here with us. He's had a couple tough Tuesdays and Wednesdays just because the sample size is much smaller. It doesn't show your full season, but he's been coming on strong. And right now, after 77 bets on the show, he's down 0.84 units. So he's going to be in the black here with us on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. I know it is coming, and I'm excited to watch it all go down. This is a huge time of year for college basketball cappers. Let's bring them on to the show. There's Sharpie in the house. MLB spring training record 15-6. Going to copy and paste all of that. Thank you for sharing that with us, Sharpie. Let me copy and paste all of that. Let's bring on your college basketball expert here. Huge time ahead for him. And I will also be seeing him shortly in San Antonio. Please welcome from Dallas, Texas, Dabra Cadabra in the house. Dabby, what's up, my man?
What's up, guys? What's up? Got that NHL action in my fast, man.
Let me move that. We don't have our producer in the house, so it's a little trickier here. But let me get that off the screen.
Sorry, I meant to clap when you came on, but I was right in the middle of copying and pasting some Sharpie spring training bets that I think I'm going to tail here.
There you go. There you go. What's up, guys? You guys ready for this tournament, man?
Yes.
I've already got. I'm not gonna lie. I've got like 11 bets in through this weekend already.
Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. It's going to be very fun, and we have you on the show as well tomorrow on Wednesday. We'll talk about getting more Daby Cab action here. We're going to be having NCAA basketball shows on our channel every single day moving forward here, and a lot of opportunities here. Mally Mal in the house. NJ Striker ready to get to work. Jake Burns. Let's go. Jake Burns loving Pittsburgh plus 2.5 and the money line tonight. So we're going to start with the NCAA play-in games here. I will set a table, and then we will bring in Pistol Pete Loshak to hear his thoughts before we move on to Daby Cab to lay it in. Also, to get us started here, Kyle Hintlian has moved on Texas A&M Corpus Christi for 5 large. $5,000 on Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Let's discuss this spot here and go into the line history and get started. The first play-in game, 6:40 p.m. Eastern tonight, South Region first four. And this gives me another opportunity to tell you guys about our March Madness NCAA bracket contest on our website, Pub Sports Radio. It's up right now, $50 American. We'll all be competing with each other. We'll be talking about it nonstop. Please join us in this contest. It's going to be extremely enjoyable. And doesn't matter how many people sign up, the top 3 are getting paid. So 3 cappers are going to make a lot of money. South Region first 4, the number 16 seed Southeast Missouri State Redhawks, 19-16 this year, versus the number 16 seed Texas A&M Corpus Christi Islanders, 23-10. We're in Dayton, Ohio for this one. Let's start with the line history here to get us rolling, then the cash flow. Then I'll set a very quick table here. First off, though, we have a slight move towards Corpus Christi. Opening up at, I take that away. At Pinnacle, it has not been that case. Pinnacle opened Corpus Christi at -4. Then they got down to -3. There's been some buyback in the last little bit. So they're at 3.5 right now. Interesting. Let's see what BetOnline did here. BetOnline opened them up at -3 and got them up to -4. So they moved to -4. They moved a whole point in 22 minutes. Since then, it's come back to -3.5 at a pick'em. Totals wise, opened up at 152.5 and is now shot all the way up to 156. Cash wise here, we have 25% of the tickets and 31% of the cash on Southeast Missouri. Totals wise, 56% of tickets and 52% of cash on the over, and the market, skyrocketing up. DC Capper dropping his action. There's Alec in the house. Southeast Missouri State was the surprise winner of the Ohio Valley Conference tournament. They were just 10-8 in the regular season in conference, put them in 5th place in a 10-team conference. They beat regular season champ Morehead State in the semis, 65-58 as 5-point dogs, and they defeated the 2nd seed Tennessee Tech 89-82 in overtime in the finals as 1-point dogs. Texas A&M Corpus Christi won the Southland regular season title, then comfortably beat McNeese 80-63 as 9.5-point favorites in the semis before beating the 2nd place team in the regular season, Northwestern State 75-71 in the finals as 2.5-point favorites. Pistol Pete Loshak, South Region first 4, SEMO, Corpus Christi. Take it away.
Yeah, I mean, Tamu-CC is good, but they got that guy who's injured, Terrion Murdix. He was one of their top defensive players, and I was thinking that Southeastern Missouri State getting this many points, getting 4 or 4.5, was probably the way to go. I didn't bet it yet. I would also be leaning under. I understand first half under. That is, I understand that Southeastern Missouri State plays a fast pace, but again, this is the tournament, and it might start off a little bit slow. There might be a lot of free throws because the Southeast Missouri State's guards drive a lot, and then they get fouled, and then there's Tamu-CC is good inside. They'll probably draw a lot of fouls there, so that makes me nervous. And they're both good free throw shooting teams in general. So that makes me a little nervous as far as a play on the under is concerned. But one way or another, I feel like anything +4 or better, Southeastern Missouri State would probably be the play. But I definitely have not bet that yet.
I sort of felt the same way, but hearing Kyle with 5K on Corpus Christi sure gives me pause. Take it away, Daby Cab, our first playing game of the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, you look at this Missouri State team, they put up some points. They're putting up 71 or 77.1 points per game, which is 55th in the country, but they're only doing that on 43.7% shooting, 242nd, 32.6% from 3, 275th. They're only hitting 70.5% of their free throws, 226. So really below average in all those metrics if you look at it. On defense, they're giving up 76.5 points per game, 337th in the nation. I know we've talked about, you guys talked about their pace a little bit, but that's still not acceptable. When you flip and look at the other side, A&M Corpus Christi is putting up 80.6 points per game. That's 19th in the country. They're doing it on 45.4% shooting, 36.6 from 3. And the free throw line, somebody in the chat just touched on it. They convert 79.1% of their free throws. That's 5th in the country. They do a good job on the boards, averaging 33.7 rebounds. You look at this, the Islanders are 6-0 in their last 6 games against a team with a winning record. I don't usually like to talk certain trends, but that's one I want to see. They play against good teams better. They're 7-2 their last neutral site games. I think Corpus Christi probably can cover this one in advance. They've won 12 of their last 13 straight up. And even with Missouri State's fast pace, I think, Texas A&M can keep up. They're going to be able to keep up and score right along with them. So with that free throw percentage and with everything taken into account, I just think Corpus Christi is just the better team here.
Interesting. By the way, BJ, thank you. He's at work, but he's sharing his best bet Thunder money line. I've copied and pasted that so we can discuss it when we get there. Coin saying SEMO got hot at the right time in their conference tourney. Mally Mal says Texas Corpus Christi missing player average 13 a game, but there's 2 other players who average more. And Dan Kelly says this is the time of year you look at senior guard play, coaching, and location. Neutral sites aren't always neutral. Pistol Pete, after you hear Daby Cab, does that make you want to pull the trigger on the first half under? It is a look that Noli knows likes.
Yeah, I would love to, but it's one of those. They'll probably start off slow. Like maybe I bet the first 5 minutes under, first 10 minutes under, but then Southeast Missouri State starts to do what they do well, and Tamu CC goes with it. There could be a lot of points put up in the middle area of the first half. So I really want to take the first half under 73.5 or 74 minus 118, but I will pass as far as unofficial play is concerned.
Yeah, this doesn't make me confident. But Kyle Hindley says Texas Corpus Christi big. Cab, are you making anything official here?
No, I'm not. Jimmy, this part of that record was, me forcing things on the show. And I'm sure you've noticed the last 2 weeks, I'm not going to do that. That's why it's going to end up positive. I will finish this season positive, and it's because I'm not going to force anything.
Oh, we believe in you. We believe in you. All right, we're going to move into game 2. One more time, though. Our guy Sharpie is giving out Bieber over 4 strikeouts on Prize Picks. 4 strikeouts. His Angels have a B lineup with 5 left-handed bats. Bieber averaging 2 strikes more per 9 versus left-handed bats. So that's Sharpie's look on Prize Picks. Remember, if you go to Prize Picks, Pub Sports is the code, and they will match you up to $100.
You know what, Jim? You can put it on. First half under 74 minus 118. That's the current line at Pinnacle. I'll take it.
All right, Pete is in. First half under 74 at minus 110.
118.
Oh, sorry, minus 118.
74 minus 118, yeah.
All right, you are in business. Kyle Hintlian, big bet on Corpus Christi, will be cheering for you, my guy. Let's move on to the next game. Very, very exciting and interesting spot. The 11 seed action. And Daby Cab, will we have you in the our contest, our college basketball contest?
Yeah, of course.
Beautiful.
Of course.
All right, let's move on to the next spot there. Pittsburgh, Mississippi State. Line history-wise and cash-wise, let's get to work. The 11 seed playing game. Pittsburgh 22-11 this year. Mississippi State Bulldogs 21-12. It really upset me that I didn't back Alabama in the quarters when they beat up on Mississippi State, because I told everybody, I watched those interviews after they beat Florida, and it was like the job was done. I don't know why I didn't follow through with that. I had some concern over the heat that Miller and Bama are getting for the gun incident. And so stupid, because it was clear that they were like, oh, we did it. We're in the tournament. We did it. Instead of thinking about Alabama next, they get lit up and smoked. Mississippi State 9th in the 14-team SEC regular season before they beat Florida 69-68 in overtime as 5-point favorites in the second round, then got destroyed as 8-point dogs by number 1 seed Alabama in the quarter 72-49. Line history-wise, Mississippi State opening up at minus 1.5. They're now minus 3. A legit move over to Mississippi State. From the total side of things, opened up at 132. It is now at 133.5, so it's gone up 1.5 points. Let's take a look at the cash flow for this one. This one popping off at 9:10 p.m. You have 37% of the tickets and 60% of the cash on Pittsburgh. Bigger bets coming on Pittsburgh. So why is the market moving to Mississippi State when there's 24,380 tickets in? They're clearly opening up their arms to big Pittsburgh bets. Total-wise, 68% of tickets and 67% cash is on the over, and it's gone up 1.5 points. There's DJ Big Boss in the house. Boss, I can't wait to be hanging with you in San Antonio, man. God, I can't wait to be hanging with DJ Big Boss. They've taken off some of the women. Some of the women are gone here from our some of them are gone. Some of them are gone. Still, the good ones are still there, but we've lost some of the women here. Lost some. But let's get back to work here. So we have big bets placed on the over. Pittsburgh 5th in the 15-team ACC regular season. They opened up their ACC tournament with an 89-81 victory over Georgia Tech as 7-point favorites. I doubled up on that spot. They dominated the first half, let Georgia Tech back into it in the second. Then they got destroyed by Duke in the quarters as 5-point dogs. Interesting spot here. Pistol Pete Loshak. What do you think? It's pretty interesting that the bigger bets have come in on Pittsburgh, and yet the line's moving to Mississippi State. The Bulldogs.
Yeah, I don't get it. I thought that Pittsburgh would be the way I wanted to go here, but then I saw a strong move in favor of Mississippi State early, and it continues to be in favor of Mississippi State, and I don't quite get it. Mississippi State is not a good offensive team for a tournament team, and Pittsburgh is good offensively. They've had some defensive letdowns, but defense should, in theory, be something that you can coach up or improve, when it matters in the tournament. So I think that expecting an improvement from Pittsburgh defensively is much more likely than expecting an improvement from Mississippi State offensively. I don't get it. I was leaning Pittsburgh, and maybe I'll pull the trigger on it. I don't know who's betting Mississippi State with such influence, and why do they love them? I don't know.
Let's hear what Daby has to say about this one. Take it away, the 11 seed playing game.
I'm in the same boat. If the market would give me a little more confidence, I'd be on Pittsburgh here. Mississippi State, when you say this offense isn't that good, it's worse than not good. It's just atrocious. They're averaging 66 points per game. But the thing is they've been holding opponents this season to 61 points per game on average. They shoot just 42% from the field, only 27% from three. I mean, they don't shoot the ball well at all, but they defend at above average rate. They're holding opponents to shooting just 39% from the field and 31% from three. So this is just a complete clash of styles, because you look at Pitt, they're putting up 76 points per game. They do it on 45% shooting from the field and 36% from three. And their defense has a little bit left to want more out of too. Pitt's giving up 71 points per game. Like I said, this is a complete clash of styles. I think I like Pitt here because they have 4 people that average double digits. They have multiple scorers on the field or on the court. And when you have multiple scorers on the court, it's tough for a Mississippi State team that just flat out doesn't score to keep up. But this market does definitely give me a little bit of a pause because, like I said, Mississippi State's defense is, one of the best in the country.
Yeah. You know what, Jimmy the Bag? I'll never forget when that Notre Dame game where DJ Big Boss said he liked the total. The market moved 3 points against him, and he said, no, I like it more. I'm going to take Pittsburgh here. The market has moved against them. No, I like it more. I'm going to double up. I'm taking first half and full game. I'll take the Pinnacle lines here. First half, what do we got? +1 -109, and full game +3 -112.
Wow. Wow. So then if you like Pittsburgh,
yeah,
doesn't that correlate to an over?
I do like the over a little bit as well. Yeah. But if I was going to take an over, I'd take the Pittsburgh team total over instead. But yes, I have slightly into the over for sure. No
Pittsburgh first half was what? Sorry, Pete?
+1 -109 and full game +3 -112. Those are both current lines of Pinnacle.
Well, I am going to move on the over here. I'm going to move on the over, full game over. All right. Playing game, 9:10 p.m., Pittsburgh, Mississippi State. It's going to be a real fun one. Texas A&M, Corpus Christi, going to be a sweat because I want Kyle Hintlian to get that cash. Domi Gunricci's on the over and Pitt.
There you go. I would agree with that.
Noli knows like in the over.
There you go. I agree with I definitely agree with the over. I have to think about it a little bit more, but definitely agree with it.
The Crown Prince of Unders giving us the over in Pittsburgh, Mississippi State Bulldogs. Ooh, wow. All right, let's move on. Next spot on the board, we head over to the NIT tournament. Let's get rolling here. Yes, Donovan Mitchell has been ruled out, says Sammy and Grit and Grind as well. So lots of moving parts. We're going to talk NBA. We're going to have Wham Bam here in a second. Let's get to work. 7 p.m. Eastern, Hofstra Pride, 24-9 versus the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, 19-14. We're in Piscataway, New Jersey. Let's start with the line history here for this one. Hofstra Rutgers. There's been a move towards Hofstra. Hofstra opening up at +7.5. They're now +6.5. They got down to +6. At that point, it moved back to 6.5. Let's see what BetOnline has done. BetOnline opened this up. Hofstra +7.5. That was up until 11:09 this morning. BetOnline. So there was an initial move towards Hofstra. Then it came back to Rutgers. And then at 11:09 this morning, a 1.5 point move towards Hofstra. Totals wise, it's opened up at 135.5, has gone all the way up to 139.5. A huge move towards their over. Let's take a look at the cash flow. 46% of the tickets on Hofstra and 78% of the cash. Then on the total, you have 71% of tickets on the over, 68% of cash on the over, and it's gone up quickly. So also big bets have been placed on the money line for Hofstra as well. So in the NIT and the CBI, we talk about, does a team care about being there? Because if they don't, they're extremely vulnerable. Hofstra's 12-game winning streak was snapped in the Colonial Conference semis. They lost in overtime 79-73 to the UNC Wilmington Seahawks, the 7.5-point favorites. Rutgers comes in off their third loss in 4 games, 70-65 to Purdue in the Big Ten quarters, the 6.5-point dogs. Is the fact, Pete, that they're at home make them care a little bit about this game? I
don't know. I mean, that's a judgment call. If someone has a cousin who goes to Rutgers and is friends with guys on the team, that might give you an answer right there. Me, I think they probably care a little bit, but they just, Rutgers, they weren't that good. They're similar to Mississippi State, weren't that good offensively in general. They haven't been playing well since that guy Mawat Mag went down in February. And Hofstra is, a quality team. I do think Hofstra is going to be, motivated here to hang tough. And I did bet Hofstra when it came out at 7.5, and I will give them first half and full game as well on this one for sure.
Wow, interesting. Daby Cab, what do you think of that? Pete bullish on Hofstra.
Yeah, you guys both touched on it. You have to, with this NIT tournament, you have to check on teams' motivation. You have to figure out what's going on. If you watch Rutgers' coach on Tuesday, his interview he gives you reason to believe that Rutgers is going to be motivated. But for me, it's not enough. That's not enough. I don't know if they will. I'd probably lean with Pete here. The thing is Rutgers should be able to dominate the offensive glass here. They have a huge size advantage in this game, which is something that worries me. And I think that size advantage is going to help them find success on both ends of the court. And we're talking about a Rutgers team that is 9th in scoring defense. All that being said here, I think the market's telling us that Hofstra might be a play here. And just because the coach says there's going to be motivation for a team doesn't mean that there is. The way Rutgers ended their season was rough. And I got to imagine a lot of these players really, really feel like they should be in the big dance, and they're not. So motivation is going to be a huge question here.
Yeah. Wildly interesting.
Pete, all right, let me give you my numbers here. I'm going to use Pinnacle numbers. Hofstra first half +4 -120, and full game +7 -116. Current lines at Pinnacle.
-117.
-116. +7 -116.
Wow. God, I'm interested in Hofstra. I just I find it really difficult to believe that the players are going to be, locked into this spot. I mean,
no, they might be half locked in or 90% locked in, but it's also I'm kind of a believer in Hofstra in general in this spot.
Hofstra is an angry group after losing in overtime. King CB 23 says take Hofstra at your own risk tonight.
Yeah, of course.
Guns saying Hofstra allowing 55 points per game in the last 5. Rutgers allowing 63 points per game in the last 5. This should be a defensive game. And he says that he likes this under before the line jumps. He says now he loves it. So it's gone too far at this point.
Yeah, I would also be leaning first half under as well, 65.5, and I might make that official.
Well, I am very interested in joining you here on Hofstra, and I expect to full game. I would much prefer having the number that you got, though. That might keep me off if I'm forced to eat a 6. All right, that's game 1 of the NIT. Let's move on to game 2. We've already heard from Tease in the house that he's on Texas A&M Corpus Christi. He's also on Toledo. Toledo Rockets, 27-7 versus Michigan Wolverines, 17-15 we're the Chrysler Center in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Start with the line history here for this one. A huge move towards Toledo. At Pinnacle, this opened up Toledo plus 7.5. They're now plus 6. Over at Bet Online, this opened up at plus 9. Now it's plus 6. It's got to have moved too far for me. This total opened up at 161. It got all the way up to 163. It's now at 162.5, juice to the over. Let's take a look at the cash flow on this one. We have 71% of the tickets and 81% of the cash on Toledo. Totals wise, only 35% of the tickets and 41% of the cash on the over. It's dropping a little. It's a high number for the Wolverines. Toledo had their 17-game winning streak. 17-game winning streak snapped in its 93-78 loss in the MAC championship versus Kent State at a pick'em. I was all over Kent State. Michigan lost their 3rd straight game, 62-50 to Rutgers as 2.5. Sorry. It's not that. Oh, yeah, of course. Okay, sorry. That was a. Okay, sorry. Let me just get this set up here. Take it away for us, Pete. Toledo, Michigan.
Yeah, very similar to the other game. I also like Toledo. This line has moved. I actually like it a little bit less than the Rutgers game. But again, similar thing. It's a question is Michigan's motivation. And even if they're mostly fully motivated, Toledo, will certainly be motivated and probably can hang. Quality team, too many points. I did bet them early, and I'd probably take them at 6 as well, also first half.
There's our guy, Julian Cesario, in the house. What up, Julian? My guy. What up, Julian? So you're making them both official here, Pete?
Not yet. I want to hear what everyone has to say. But, yeah, leaning that way.
Daby Cab, take it away. Toledo, Michigan.
Yeah, you touched on it. It's gotta hurt not getting into the tournament when you just had a 17-game win streak. That's talk about conferences being stronger than each other. That's just fucking crazy here. Toledo is 6-1 ATS, their last 7 overall. They should definitely be the hungrier team here. They're gonna have a chip on their shoulder after losing that MAC championship game. And this offense is elite for Toledo. I know everybody realizes that, but let's just look at it for a second. 85.6 points per game. That's second in the country. They do it on 49.6% shooting, which is 3rd. So damn near 50% from the field, which is outstanding. 77.3% of their free throws, 39.7% of their threes, which is 2nd in the country. I mean, this Toledo offense is just off the charts. Their defense leaves a little bit to be desired, but that's because they're putting up so many points and pushing the pace a little bit. And you look at Michigan, what are they playing for right now? Pride? That's it. They're playing for pride. They don't want to be here. This isn't a game. Nobody on that team wanted to be in this game today. It is a complete letdown spot for Michigan. I would only bet Toledo.
Yeah, I am interested in it.
You know what, Jim? I'll make it official, but I'm only going to go one way here. I'll take first half plus 4 minus 111 Toledo. Official.
First half plus 4 minus 111 for Pete. Yeah, I'm interested. I just wish I had got there earlier. All right, let's stay in the NIT. Next up for us, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Southern Miss Golden Eagles 25-7 this year versus UAB Blazers 25-9. We're at Bartow Arena in Birmingham, Alabama. What an awful performance UAB put up against Florida Atlantic. Let's take a look at the line history here. Southern Miss opening up at plus 9. They got up to plus 9.5 at 1:30 this morning. They got up to plus 10. They were at plus 10 at 10:18 a.m. Since then, there's been a 1.5 move back to Southern Miss. Take a look at the total here. This opened up at 153. It's now up to 155. Take a look at the cash flow on this one. We have 56% of the tickets and 72% of the cash on Southern Miss. Then we have 42% of the tickets and 65% of the cash on the under, and we've seen it climb. Jake Burns says UAB by 100. Southern Miss comes in off its second loss in 3 games, 78-61 at home to South Alabama in the Sun Belt quarters at a pick'em. It was no show. UAB had their 8-game winning streak snapped in an ugly 78-56 loss to Florida Atlantic on the Conference USA Finals as 2-point favorites. Surprise. Both teams coming off ugly losses. Andrew G says UAB has the potential to blow the doors off here. Pete, what do you think? Southern Miss, UAB?
Yeah, I was definitely thinking UAB when it first came out. Didn't touch it, though, but definitely leaning UAB. And I think it's gone the other direction, hasn't it? It's down to 8.5, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was also thinking over. I was thinking first half over, and I was thinking UAB team total over. And I'm thinking about all those. I might throw some of them on officially.
Yeah, I find those interesting and appealing. Take it away for us, Daby Cab, Southern Miss, Golden Eagles, UAB Blazers.
I think our chat is dead nuts on here. They do have UAB does have the chance to blow this off. I know this is a little off topic, but these teams are familiar with each other. Southern Miss was a part of Conference USA before they moved to the Sun Belt last season. So these teams they're going to be a little familiar with, not going to like each other. But UAB is one of the most explosive offenses in the country. They're putting up 81.5 points per game, which is 11th. They crash the glass, 40.5 rebounds per game, which is 4th, and they move the ball around a ton, 14.5 assists per game, which is one of my favorite things. I love it when teams move the ball around, and they also have, without question, the best player on the court in Walker, putting up 23.4 points per game, and he's at home. This team's at home here, where they're 15-2 on the season. For me, this is UAB or nothing.
Do you agree with this market move towards the over?
Yes.
Yeah, seems appealing.
All right, Jim, you know what? You can make a Pinnacle UAB team total over 81.5 minus 110. UAB team total over 81.5 minus 110.
All right, I'm interested in the over in this spot. So, Daby Cab, you don't think there'll be any residual kind of disgust that UAB's not in the tournament here coming up? Do you think that they'll still care in the spot after getting embarrassed?
I think that being at home is going to help with that a ton. They're really good on they're comfortable on their home court, and I think that that's something that's really going to keep them. But that is what kept me off this game, Jimmy, is the fact that with these first NIT games, I like to see what teams look like, their motivation coming out.
Noli Knows says I was leaning under. Says thinks it's 7 points too high.
Jesus.
Huh. But DJ Big Boss liking the over. Oh, all right. Okay. I wanted the over, but Noli's uncomfort has me questioning it. Just going to put it there that Noli leaning under. Okay, let's move on. 9 p.m. Eastern. We'll let our guy DC Capper lead us into this one. He's on Liberty -3 and the under 138. Villanova Wildcats 17-16 versus the Liberty Flames 26-8. We're at Liberty Arena in Lynchburg, Virginia. Villanova destroyed Georgetown to get the tourney started in the Big East, and then lost to Creighton 87-74. Certainly turned it around late in the season. Liberty had a nice-looking winning streak going until they lost at Kennesaw State 67-66. I like Kennesaw State a lot. That was a tough game. Let's take a look at the line history here and the cash flow. First off, line history-wise, Liberty opened up at -1.5. They're now -4. It's a huge move at Penny. Let's take a look at what BetOnline has done. BetOnline opened this up at BetOnline opened this up at -2, and it's now -3. So huge difference depending on what book you're looking at. Because at BetOnline, they became 1-point favorites. The early money was all over Villanova. And then it's just come back. But it got up to 3.5 again yesterday at 5 p.m. So there's been a ton of movement, but it's now 3 juiced. Totals wise, this opened up at 138. It's now 137. Let's go over to the cash flow for this one. We have no help on the side. 52% of the tickets on Villanova, 50% of the cash, but the market clearly moving towards Liberty. Totals-wise, though, 72% of tickets and 97% of the cash is on the under. And it's only gone down 1 point. That's a lot of money on the under. The books don't seem too concerned. Take it away, Pistol Pete. Villanova Wildcats, Liberty Flames.
I have nothing on this one. Obviously, this is all about motivation. Villanova had a ton of injuries during the year. They're still Villanova, though. And Liberty was actually down the stretch, not that great ATS. So it's going to be a pass for me. The line movement is pretty telling. Someone loves Liberty. I don't know.
Mo Harris says Liberty might blow these guys out. Daby Cab, take it away. We're in Lynchburg for Nova Liberty.
Man, Liberty is, outstanding on offense. 75 points per game. They're 100th in offense on the season, which is well above average. They limit their opponents to 67 or fewer points in 3 of their last 4 games, so they've been doing well on defense. And on the season, they're only allowing 60.2 points, which is 8th. Here's the thing, man. This like Pete just said, it's still Villanova. This Wildcats, they had a very down season, I know. But if you look at the end of their season, they finished strong, 6-2 in their last 8 regular season games. And in those 6 wins, they had wins over Xavier, Creighton, Seton Hall, which isn't as big, but, big win still. And Liberty, you look at Liberty, they're 1 point away from being in the NCAA tournament here. That's crazy if you want to break it down to that. We want to talk about teams with motivation. Liberty's 2 points. 1 point would have tied it, sent it to overtime. 2 points away from being in the NCAA tournament here. So how happy is Liberty with that? I don't know. More on Villanova, too. I know they struggled in the Big East, but like Pete said, with the absence of Justin Moore, that hurt them a lot early. He's healthy now, and he's consistently producing. And Villanova has a strong offense. They're by far the better offense in this game. They're averaging 113.8 points per 100 possessions, which is 38th in the country. I think that catching points with Villanova here has value, but the market and everybody, talking about Liberty maybe blowing them out puts me at pause.
Well, I'm telling you, Mike M, star of the Pimp Slap Play Today, doesn't. Says Nova covers maybe outright. Some programs building, and this game means a ton to them. Liberty in a 9-19 against the spread spot, and Kyle Hintlian dropping 2K on Nova.
And that says something too. Like, I just want to put it out there. Like, it's like Nova started playing good at the end of the season when their season was already shit. So like when we talk about motivation, this team already showed that they're willing to play through adversity. Their season was just dog shit, and they still came out and beat Creighton, beat Xavier, and finished strong. So yeah, I agree. I think I like Villanova here also.
Wow. And T saying crazy says Nova will be up to win this.
Yeah. I mean, it does feel like the line movement. It does feel like one of these plays that's like, right angle puts it out. The market goes nuts, and then it loses by 15. And people are like, what's going on here? What's going on here? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about, right, Daby Cab?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Exactly what I'm talking about. This feels like one of those things. You know what I mean?
Yep, it does.
All right. Well, I can't I can't move on this spot. Julian Cesaro saying, how is this line going towards Liberty? I'm off. Let's move on. Next up, 9 p.m. Eastern, we head to Nashville, Tennessee, Memorial Gymnasium. Yale Bulldogs 21-8 versus Vanderbilt Commodores 20-14. Yale losing to Princeton 74-65 after beating Cornell. Had a nice little winning streak together before Princeton put an end to all of that. Vanderbilt beat Kentucky and then lost to Texas A&M 87-75. They opened the tournament by beating LSU, but who cares? Let's take a look at the line history here for this spot. And we have very little movement here. Vanderbilt at Pinnacle opened up at -3.5. They're now -3. Let's go over to Bet Online because we knew they opened it up first. At Bet Online, opened up at -3. It's now at 3.5, but it got up to -4.5 for Vandy yesterday afternoon at 5 p.m. Take a look at the cash flow here for this one. We have 53% of the tickets and 67% of the cash is on Vandy. Total-wise, 83% of the tickets and 81% of the cash is on the under. 83 and 81. We have the total opening up at 148 and dropping down to 146.5. It got down to 146. So looks on the under and bigger bets on Vandy. So let me pull that up here again, just so I 53% and 67 on Vandy. All right, let's start with Pistol Pete Loshak, NIT first round, Yale, Vanderbilt.
Yeah, I do. This is interesting. I'm not sure about the spread. I think it's going to be a tight, close game. I do think both of these teams care about this game. The Vanderbilt is kind of a team that, they were never thinking they're going to win the championship. So they're probably not that disappointed about, not getting into the tournament. But they think they do have a chip on their shoulder for just to continue fighting even after that guy Liam Robbins went down. So both of these teams were pretty good ATS most of the year, so I kind of like the under and the first half under as well. Side nothing.
Tease is on Vandy first half and the full game over.
Wow, really? Okay.
Daby Cab, take it away. Dommy Gun says Vandy, if any team should have been in the tourney, it is them. Dan Kelly talking about how Yale had the bad luck of Princeton hosting the tournament this year. And Julian Cesario saying that he will jump on Nova and Vandy. Jake Burns saying this is the toughest game today, in his opinion. Let's hear what Daby Cab's opinion is. Take it away, Yale, Vandy.
Yeah, this is a tough one here. I agree. Vandy's got to feel slighted a little bit about not getting into the tournament here.
Right. So I do think they feel slighted, but I don't think that will translate into them not caring here. If anything, I think it's the opposite. Not like Michigan. They're one of these teams that will look to prove something. Go ahead. Sorry.
Both of them. I think Pete's right, because we're talking about Vandy being slighted, but Yale could feel the same way here. You look at these two teams, and rankings are you very rarely hear me say rankings, so it doesn't matter. It's just something that I want to point out. Yale is ranked 64th and Vanderbilt's 81st. So Yale's actually the higher ranked team in this matchup coming in. So it's very interesting. And there's the conference bias coming into play here, obviously. But Yale is 17-9-1 against the spread of late. So they've been doing good. And one thing for Yale in this game is they play such a slow pace that I think it's easy to keep them within a number here. I think they're going to slow this game down to such a crawl that this game stays close, at least early. I might lean Vandy late, but I'd probably lean Yale early here. I'm not betting this game. This is one of the tougher games. I agree completely. This is one of the tougher games on a data cap here.
Jim, you can put on first half under 69.5. It's actually minus 110 at Will Hill right now. Other places have more juiced and 69s, but Will Hill still has 69.5. So we'll make that official. Yale Vandy, first half under 69.5, minus 110.
Yeah, I'm interested in the under as well, but seeing that the teases on the full game over and how close these squads are gets me a little worried about hijinks. I think I move on the first half under then as well. By the way, Pete, we have a look here from Rainbow the God. And this is directed right to you. To you. Is the horsecock lock in Saudi Arabia. Right to you, Pete. Has your name stated right there. Al Fateh plus.
Okay, I will find it.
The horsecock lock in Saudi Arabia, and this is directed right to you, Pete.
Al Fateh.
Right to you. This is not to anybody else, Pete. The horsecock lock in the day is just for you. All right, let's move on. Pete's on the first half under 69.5. I think I'm going to join on that one as well. No, Big Mastro in the house. Great to see you, man. OG low bagger, Big Mastro out of Windsor in the house. Yes, says one of those lucky days where I'm here live for the show. We love it. NBA is next. We got Wham Bam waiting to rock with us. And Dan Kelly fades when he sees the lock emoji, but tails when he hears horsecock. So it's a very difficult spot for Dan. Going to be kind of betwixt and in between there.
I just bet it. Al Fateh plus 1.5, minus 112. Thank you very much.
All right, let's move on. Next up for us, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, NCAA spreadsheet play of the day given to us from Ron Crawford is Bradley. Bradley plus 3, the Bradley Braves from our Ron Crawford. Let's take a look at this spot. Bradley and Whiskey facing each other. Bradley lost to Drake badly, 77-51 after beating Indiana State by a hair and beating Northern Iowa by the tiniest of margins, and then got lit up and smoked by Drake. Bradley won the regular season conference. They won the Missouri Valley Conference in the regular season. So losing like that to Drake, embarrassing, 77-51. Wisconsin didn't get started. Lost to Ohio State immediately, 65-57. They were 9-11 in regular season conference play. Let's take a look at the line movement here. Bradley, Wisconsin. We have Bradley opening up plus 2.5 Bradley opening up at plus 3.5 at Pinnacle. They're now at plus 2.5. So there's been a 1-point move towards them. Let's see what BetOnline has done. BetOnline opening up at 2.5. This got up to 4. This got up to 4 yesterday morning. So this line came out at BetOnline. They get the lines out first. This opened up at 2.5. By 11 a.m. it was 4. It's back to 3. So the opposite of what Pinnacle has done. Totals wise, it's opened up at 128, very low. It got down to 126.5. It's now sitting at 127. Let's take a look at the cash flow here for this one. We have no help on the side at all. 52% of the tickets, 50% of the cash is on Bradley. So no help there. But 80% of tickets are on the under, but just 66% of the cash. So some big bets have been made on the over. Take it away for us here, Pete. Bradley, Wisconsin.
Yeah, I like it. Similar to some of these other games. Definitely like Bradley. I'm not going to double up. We'll see. I'll probably make a halftime bet depending on what the score is at halftime. But we'll start off with Bradley first half plus 1.5 minus 110. That's a market line. I definitely like that. Bradley's a quality team. Not total believer in Wisconsin right now. So Bradley first half plus 1.5 minus 110 market line.
All right, Bradley first half plus 1.5 minus 110. Shout out to Dommy Gun Reach. He says, "Got to run. Good luck, everyone." I loved it too, Dommy Gun. Miss you, my man. Drop me a DM sweet and says, "Talk to you later. Good luck, guys." And Cabby, check your text later. Daby Cab, take it away. Bradley, Wisconsin.
Wisconsin's a terrible basketball team, and I've made money fading them this year, and I don't see any reason why this would be a spot to stop. I mean, I guess Wisconsin had NCAA tournament aspirations, but that fell short. They've lost 3 of their last 4 games. The only win they have in those last 4 was against Minnesota, 71-67. This is a Wisconsin team that's 333rd in the nation, putting up only 64.9 points per game. It's not because they run a slow pace and or anything like that, because they only shoot 41.5% from the field, so they don't shoot well either. It's clear that that's what it is. You look at what they do on the free throw line, 67.1%. I absolutely hate that. I hate teams that can't make their free throws. This team just from top to bottom is a fade. And you want to look at also what they've done against the spread. They've only covered 5 times in their last 20 times in their last 20 games, this Wisconsin team. And I feel like this is one of those spots where people are going to think that there's some kind of value on Wisconsin because they're the bigger name team from the bigger conference catching points. I disagree completely. I would only bet Bradley here, or I'd stay the hell away from this game.
And you are staying the hell away from it.
I am. I was going to ask you, can I throw – we don't have to you can do whatever you want. But I was going to say, but when we finish, can I throw out a couple things that I've already bet for Friday and Thursday that might move?
Absolutely. Sure. Absolutely. Let's move on to the next spot on the board here. Head to Pullman, Washington. Eastern Washington Eagles. What a strange season they had. They go undefeated in the Big Sky before losing their last 2 regular season games and then lose to Northern Arizona as 7.5-point favorites on a game-winning 3 at the buzzer to lose 3 straight. We see it often, these teams who sort of let their foot off the gas. They still won the regular season crown, but it comes back to haunt them. I was hoping that Eastern Washington would make it to the dance. Facing the Cougars opened up their Pac-12 tournament, beating lowly Cal 69-52. And then they played Oregon tough, losing 75-70. I made money on Washington State this year, but this game means something to Eastern Washington. Doesn't mean anything to Washington State. There's been a big move towards Eastern Washington, clearly an angry group. They opened up at Pinnacle at plus 11.5. They're now plus 10, but over at Bet Online, this opened up at plus 13. It's now plus 10.5. That 10.5 is juiced. Total wise, this opened up at 150. It was up to 151 until 11:09 this morning when there was a big move to the under. It's now 148. 148 here. Nate Sterna looking at Eastern Washington. Coke and Devil Folk looking. It said Eastern Washington did upset them last year. So let's take a look here at the Domi Gunrici. Thank you for sharing your action. I will copy and paste that for sure. Let's take a look at the cash flow for this one. 88% of the tickets and 96% of the cash is on Eastern Washington. Wow. Then you have 65% of tickets and 75% of the cash on the under, and there has just now been a big move towards the under. Take it away here. Floor is yours, Pistol Pete, Eastern Washington, Washington State.
Yeah, I didn't understand at all why the line was so high. That was a great game against Northern Arizona, And you know how Jose makes those graphics where he puts people's heads on athletes and stuff like that? Yeah. Maybe we should make one where if someone makes a great pick, everyone storms and hugs them. Because I love it after the end of a basketball game when all the teammates run after the kid. They're all hugging each other and jumping around. It just makes me feel good. I watched the end of that 20 different times on replay. It was a great game. Eastern Washington was a quality team, and they should be able to hang with Washington State. I did bet it when it opened. I didn't understand. I also like the gotten bet down to about 3 points or whatever, but still liking Eastern Washington and probably first half and full game. I don't understand. I don't quite understand why the line is so big unless Washington State is significantly better than I'm giving them credit for.
Yeah, and also Eastern Washington upsetting them last year. Are you going to make this official?
I want to hear what you guys have to say first.
Take it away, Cab. Eastern Washington, Washington State.
We've all been on the same page here for most of the day today, which is cool and all. I don't know about this one, man. I think that Washington State could dominate this matchup. When these teams met back in November, that's what happened. This Eagles team has lost 3 in a row, so their confidence could be low right now. The size advantage in this game is just it's almost unmeasurable. Washington State is just so much bigger, and you could see it in the first meeting if you watch these two teams play. This is a Washington State team that you guys touched on multiple times. They lost this game last year. This is an in-state game, so they should be up for it a little bit at least. And Washington State, they're 5-1 ATS, their last 6 at home. 4-0 straight, or 4-0 at home, their last 4, if you want to take it slower. I think this might be a spot where Washington State dominates. I'm staying off this game.
Yeah, Eastern Washington, they might be one of those teams that just beat. They did beat Cal, but whenever they were a dog earlier in the year, they lost ATS by a decent margin against Hawaii, Santa Clara, all these Yale, all these, but they beat Cal, and I guess the Texas Tech. They got better it makes me nervous. The line makes me nervous. I'm gonna pass officially, Jim.
What do you think of the under in this spot if Washington State has this huge advantage size-wise?
I don't know. I was liking the over initially, but I think that might be – I'm just going to pass.
Okay. All right. Well, I will cut the under from my list. I'll also cut Eastern Washington, which I was expecting to do. I do find it a little uncomforting, I would say, to see that 96% of the cash – is on Eastern Washington at this point. Now the market is showing fear and moving towards.
Yeah, a huge move.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about the final game here on the board for college basketball before we get into NBA, and that is Seton Hall, Colorado Buffaloes. This is the final spot on the board. We're at CU Event Center in Boulder, Colorado. Seton Hall didn't get off the hop in the conference tournament, losing right away to DePaul 66-65. They smashed Providence in Providence last game of the year, but they'd been losing before that. Colorado, beat Washington off the hop 74-68, a weak Husky squad, and then played UCLA tough, lost 80-69 in that one. Take a look at the line history here. We have Seton Hall opening up as 4.5-point dogs at Pinnacle. It got up to 5 at one point, but it's now at 4. Let's see what BetOnline is doing. BetOnline has this opening up with Seton Hall +5. They're at 4 right now. So 1 point move towards Seton Hall. Total-wise, it's opened up at 139. It's dropped all the way to 135. A big drop on the total. Coke and Devil folks saying 10.5 is too many points. Jake Burns liking Seton Hall +4 here. Let's take a look at the cash flow for this one. We have 48% of tickets and 84% of the cash on Seton Hall. Then we have 95% of tickets and 97% of cash on the under. It's wild. Take it away here, Pistol Pete Loshak. Our final game of NIT action today, Seton Hall, Colorado.
Yeah, this is a very tough one. I guess I'm agreeing with the under. I love Shaheen Holloway in tournaments from now until further notice. I've been saying the same thing about Shaka Smart ever since friggin' the VCU run. But this is a tough spot for Seton Hall, right? Traveling all the way to Colorado on short notice. Still, though, they're getting points. Colorado has one guy who might be out, I think, which is that KJ Simpson, all right? And he gives a lot of points and rebounds, and he's questionable, I think. I'm not sure if he's going to be in or out. So, normally I'd love to take, a Holloway coach team getting points in a tournament, even in the NIT, but it's such a tough spot for New Jersey that I'm not sure I want to pull the trigger on it, and I would generally be agreeing with the move to the under, though.
What do you think, Daby Cab, our final spot on the NIT board?
I think Pete just nailed that one. I want Seton Hall here too, but it just seems like such a tough travel spot here. This is just a tough situation. These are both defensive-minded teams, and both of these teams struggle to shoot the ball, especially from deep. Seton Hall makes just 5.8 threes per game, which is 326 in the country. They do it on a 32.8% clip, which is 59th. And you look at Colorado, they only make 6.5 threes per game, which is 282nd. And they do that on a 31.9% clip, which is 304th. So both of these teams struggle from deep. And that's one of those things where it's like, you're giving me 4.5 points. I was kind of leaning Seton Hall anyways. I don't think there's going to be a lot of points in this game. I think there's value in taking the 4.5 with Seton Hall. But I just can't. You look at what Seton Hall's done of late, 2-6 straight up, 3-5 ATS in their last 8 overall. Just struggle. But Colorado's not much better. 3-5 straight up, 5-3 ATS past 8. But you look at what they've done at home, 3-4 ATS previous 7 meetings at home for Colorado here. So it's not like Colorado just steps up and defends their home court. But here, let me go with what Mally Mal said here. And Pete, you touched on it too. If KJ Simpson's out, you might want to take Seton Hall money line. If he's not playing, Colorado falls apart.
But it's just such a bad spot for them. You know what I mean? It's like they short notice all the way to Colorado. I mean, my God,
I agree. I agree completely. KJ Simpson's a big deal, though. If he's not playing for Colorado, that team takes a major hit.
They held their own against UCLA, without KJ Simpson in the lineup. UCLA pulled away late, but Colorado won outright in the first half.
UCLA was adjusting to a new guard that game. And once they got adjusted, they took it to him. Just saying. Yeah,
no, I feel you. All right. Okay, well, let's Cab's going to add some action. Are you going to add official action?
You know what, Jim? Let me get I'll take unders on this one. I'll bet them, and I like it. I'm going to take first half under 64 minus 120. That's the current line at Pinnacle. And full game, I guess, is 136.5 minus 119. That's the current line at Pinnacle. You can add both of those officially as well.
What was the first half under?
64 minus 120, current line at Pinnacle. And full game is 136.5 minus 119.
Julian Cesario says, time to get back to writing. Great actor and writer, Julian Cesario. Thank you for running with us, Julian, my man. We copy and paste your action there. Okay, locked in. We'll review action, and then we'll let Daby Cab drop looks here that he thinks the line is moving on quickly. But to review action here, Pete is on the first half under 74 in SEMO, Texas A&M, Corpus Christi, and Kyle Hintley on Texas A&M for 5K. Pete is on Pittsburgh first half +1 at minus 109 and +3 full game at minus 112. I'm going to move on the over in that one. Pete is on Hofstra first half +4 and the full game +7. I'm joining you on that full game. Pete is on Toledo first half +4 -111. I'm interested in that. I wonder if the lines move too far. I'll make that decision. Pete's on UAB team total over 81.5 and Southern Miss UAB. I kind of like the over. I heard Noli leaning under. I'm going to spend more time on it. DC Capper gave us Liberty -3 and the under 138. And Nova Liberty, we stayed off. Pete's on the first half under 69.5 in Yale Vandy. Pete's on Bradley first half +1.5. The NCAA spreadsheet play today from Ron Crawford's Bradley +3. We stayed off Eastern Washington, Washington State, and Pete's on the first half under 64 in Seton Hall, Colorado, and the full game under 136.
You got my UAB team total over, right, Jim?
Yes, 81 and a half, I believe it was. Yeah. There you have it. Daby Cab, what did you want to add here for the weekend games?
Can I make one prediction? Northwestern is in his group. Go ahead.
I do like Northwestern a lot. Do you want me to just go ahead and unload a clip here or give you a
however
couple?
You want? Did you want to make these picks official for your record?
Oh, hell yeah. If I can do that, then let's go with that. Okay, so I'm gonna have Auburn on the first half money line against Iowa right there. I like Arkansas in the first half.
I need the numbers here, Cab.
Sorry.
No worries.
Auburn is -114 on the money line in the first half.
Okay.
Arkansas -0.5 point first half, and that's -116.
Okay.
USC +1 first half. I got that one -110.
Okay.
This one, the lines moved against me, and I still don't care. I get it why people like Drake. I don't think Miami's going out in the first round. I flat out don't think Miami's going out in the first round. I like Miami first half, -0.5 point, -110, and I got full game, -2.5, -106.
Okay.
Last one I'll throw out there for you. I like Memphis -1.5, -114. That's another one I locked in. I think that one's moved to 2.5 at this point.
Is this
I did
first
tweet
half?
it out though. I tweeted these all out right when I made them.
Is that Memphis first half or full game?
Full game.
Full game is -1.5.
Mm-hmm.
At what juice?
-114 actually. What the fuck? That's weird. -114.
Let me review it just so we're right here. Cab is adding these official picks for his record. Auburn first half money line -114. Arkansas first half -0.5 -116. USC +1. That's first half.
Yes.
First half +1 and -110. Miami first half -0.5 -110. Full game -2.5 -106. And Memphis full game -1.5 -114.
Love it, man. I can't wait for these fucking games. I love it. Let's go.
Beautiful. Alec liking Memphis. BJ loving Miami full game. Tease on Charleston +5.5 and the money line on Thursday +192. I'll copy and paste that. There we go. There is our college basketball for today. Thank you so much, Daby Cab. Daby Cab will be back with us again tomorrow for a big Wednesday slate of action. And then, of course, Thursday, the tourney starts. Nuke Worker, much love, passing on NBA today. Thank you for rolling with us, Nuke. Wine Time Sports says, good luck, everyone, today and this week. Much love to you, Wine Time. Daby Cab, follow him on Twitter at Daby Cab. Daby Cab, any last words for the Cappers supporting the show?
Man, I can't wait to fucking see you guys. We are just a week away. Pete, I'm excited to meet you, my guy. Jimmy,
We're going to do it all. Mushrooms, fucking bongo circles, fucking everything, man. It's going to be fun as hell.
Shrooms with me?
Mushrooms, fucking pimp slap exhibitions. Like, where we go? What's on the plan? Poker tournament, golf, horse racing.
But are you really going to eat mushrooms with me?
No, I got it. That's a spiritual thing. We're not going to have any spiritual experiences, Daby Cab. All pure recreational. No spiritual stuff.
Okay. Well, either way, I can't wait, guys. I can't wait. Can't wait to see you guys in the chat. Can't wait to see you guys on panel. It's all love, man. Let's get some fucking money today.
Let's get that cash. There is a question. What is a bongo circle?
I don't know. You know, when like people do mushrooms and then like they sit around and play drums in a circle. I've seen that. I don't know what it is. I've never been in one, but I've seen it.
Sure. I thought, because I remember you teaching us about the rusty trombone. I thought maybe there was some sort of similarity.
No. That's just some hippie. That's the hippie recreational shit.
All right. Okay. Cab, much love, my man. I will be in touch, my friend.
Later.
There he is, Dabra Cadabra. We move on to NBA and our guest, our NBA expert coming to us from Compton, California, ready to rock and roll and get us paid in full. Please welcome Wham Bam 3000 to the show. What up, Wham?
Hell yeah.
Man, yeah, I feel good, bro. I appreciate that great intro, man. Welcome here, man. Welcome to y'all, bro. I appreciate everybody in the chat. Shout out to Tease. Shout out to Alec, Viper, David, Molly Ma, of course. You already know. Lakers under, coming in hot is what he said. No, you crazy, bro. But yeah, man, appreciate you, Pete. Appreciate you, Jimmy. I'm another legendary Tuesday, man. Come on, man.
Oh yeah. And you're coming, right, to Bubbapalooza, right?
Oh yeah, we'll be there,
Oh,
bro.
yeah.
I can't wait.
Oh yeah, man. This is gonna be. We're gonna need
way
more.
About the shrooms and shit. I don't know about the shrooms and all that shit. But y'all be there. I'll be there. No, just play. Hey, you know.
Do I look like I'm gonna do shrooms with Daby Cab? Hell, no, I kind of do. I know.
You do.
Nah, we probably will. No, we probably will. No, we probably will. No.
I did miss Nasty Nate's play today. Sometimes if they don't put it in the chat because of language,
Right.
I miss it. And I almost missed the horsecock play today, but I didn't. I caught my eye. Here it is. The condom on the cucumber play of the day. Providence to whoop Kentucky. Condom on the cucumber
That's
play
crazy.
of the day. Keeping his cucumbers clean, man.
Very visual. That's like I can see that one for sure.
Keeping his cucumbers clean and healthy. He wants his cucumbers to live a long life. All right, let's get to work here in NBA right now. David Edgington says that a lot of bongo circles on Vancouver Island. I was just on Vancouver Island. Didn't see any bongo circles, but respect. Let's get to work. 7 p.m. Eastern. Cleveland Cavaliers 43-27, 15-20 on the road at Charlotte Hornets 22-48, 11-22 at home. We're at the Spectrum Center in Charlotte, North Carolina. We have been told that Donovan Mitchell is out of the lineup here for the Cavs. Let's take a look at the line history here. Pinnacle opening up the Cavs is minus 7.5 point road favorites. It's now 6. Total wise, it's opened up at 221.5. It's now 220. Let's take a look at the cash flow here for this one. Over to NBA. We have 65% of the tickets and 74% of the cash on Charlotte. A home dog here, a public home dog. Total wise, no cash amount. Only 5,400 tickets in. We don't know the cash. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong one. Yes, I have the cash. 14,000 tickets in. 56% of the tickets and 78% of the cash on the over. So I guess the market moved to the under points-wise because of Mitchell being out, not necessarily because of cash flow here. Cleveland 4-1 over the past 5, playing at a pace of 98.25 possessions a game. Charlotte 2-3, playing at a pace of 98.80 possessions a game. Mally Mal says Cavs a fade. Hornets first quarter. These teams just faced each other here on Sunday. The Cavs bounced back from their loss at Miami on Friday. We 2-0 on our Friday show. I was on Miami, and thank you to Dan Kelly. I was on the Timberwolves first quarter. Miami won that they bounced back from their loss in Miami. I think it was 119-115, but on Friday by winning 114-108 here on Sunday. Darius Garland missed Friday night's loss at Miami with a sore quad. Then he went for 28 on Sunday. Jared Allen missed Sunday's game because of an eye injury. Karis LeVert, 15 points and 4 assists, was back as a backup when Garland was healthy. It was the Hornets' second straight loss after winning at New York and Detroit. Kelly Oubre, after playing Saturday night in the lawsuit, he sat out Sunday's game with a sore back. So we're wondering if he will be back in the lineup here. Pistol Pete, any feeling on this Cavs Hornet spot?
Yeah, I mean, Mally Mal said, I see him posting Hornets first quarter. Feels like the Hornets are a scrappy team that's fighting, but they just don't have the depth. So I don't know if I'd want them full game, but feels like they're going to be a play on at least early in this game. That's just what I was thinking here. First quarter, maybe first half. That's what I was thinking. I mean, so many injury issues for both of these teams that it's not clear who's going to be in the lineup. But I'd be leaning Charlotte first quarter.
Dan Kelly also liking first quarters for Charlotte.
Really?
His first quarter action has been very helpful for me. Went 11-2 last week, and few spots where I was just really tailing Dan that correlated with my thoughts.
Okay,
Hornets plus 7.5 last night says Cavs don't cover on the road. Wham bam. Take it away. Floor is yours, Cavs Hornets.
They don't cover on the road, and they missing out on a lot of offense, man, without Mitchell, that's for sure. Man, I'm so mad at myself. Before I hopped on here, I was staring and glaring at the Darius Garland double-double at plus 275. Bovado was offering. Seen it was a discrepancy in the market because it was at plus 170 on FanDuel. Should have hopped on it right then and there because they made the adjustment, made it at plus 150 right now that I'm on here. So I'm kind of mad at myself there. Just to give y'all that venting here. But I obviously know Jared Allen here, so that's missing out on the defense there that you're normally getting from the Cleveland Cavaliers. You're going to rely on heavily dosed defensive showcasing from Mobley and obviously the other wings that they have there. But I'm just going to say I'm thinking that this kid, Nick Richards, does the same thing that he did last game. He was able to hold it down on the boards there. You're not having Mark Williams in the lineup for the Charlotte Hornets, so you're missing out on that again, which he was out last 2 games as well. So you have been able to see Nick Richards in the spot, but 15 points, 12 rebounds in the last game that they played this Cavaliers team. Obviously, this is one of those games that they play in the same team. They just played on March, and the Cavs, and the Hornets were able to cover. Think they're going to cover again here. The only issue is that their offense sucks is just as much as the I expect the Cavs offense to suck at least down the stretch. I do like that Garland double-double. Don't get me wrong. It's at plus 150, but obviously I'm not going to bet it because I'm mad at myself there. I'm going to just leave it alone there because I missed the number. But the Nick Richards double-double, that is an official play for me. I do like this play a lot in this game. I'm not sure it's going to be a best bet candidate or anything, but I think this is something that we could kind of take advantage of based off of Jared Allen being out of there. You're not having Mark Williams, and then you're going to need some type of force there, and I think Nick Richards could do the job. So 32 minutes last game, 30 minutes the game before, and 29 minutes the time before. So I expect him to be out there on the floor. Let's just get the rebounds and the points that we need. And honestly, if he's getting fouled too, he's just not making his free throws. So, maybe we get some made free throws too and get to this 10 spot here. I think the sweat is going to be the points, obviously, but for the most part, I think he gets there just being active around the rim. So that's the way I'm looking here. I think the defense is going to be solid. I do like the under. I'm not going to lie because I expect the offense probably to struggle on both sides. And, there's going to be a chance here for the Hornets to definitely get this cover for sure. So I expect them to, play up for this game, be competitive, but nothing I'm going to put my money on. I'm just liking Nick Richards. Pissed at myself about Darius Garland, but both of them double-doubles.
What was the line on Nick Richards?
Plus 150.
Plus 150 locked in.
David Edgington and saturated like in Mobley props. Mobley over and Mobley rebounds.
Shout out to that. Yeah, I agree. That's all they got.
Tyrone saying, so Cleveland keeping people out for the Sixers game. They're going to mess around and lose both. Dan Kelly says, that sounds right.
Jim, you can put Charlotte first quarter plus 2 minus 115. That's a market line for me official. Charlotte first quarter plus 2 minus 115.
Pete on Hornets first quarter plus 2 at minus 115. I want the Hornets first quarter and full game. I want the Hornets first quarter and full game in the second meeting between these two teams. Let's move on to 7 p.m. Eastern. Detroit Pistons 16-53, 7-26 on the road at the Washington Wizards, 31-37, 15-17 at home at Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C. Detroit 1-4 over their past 5, playing the pace at 98.7 possessions a game. Washington playing at a slow pace as well, 97.70 possessions a game. Let me just move back to that total real quick here in that Washington game. 221 down to 220. God, it feels like that's live, doesn't it? 221 down to 220, and the cash flow again on it. Sorry, so just take 1 second. The cash flow on the under was bigger bets are on the over in the market. Okay, all right. Here we go. Pistons Wizards. Start with the line history here. The Pistons open up at at plus 11.5. They're now plus 12. Total wise, this opened up at 223. It's dropped 2 points to 221. Tom Miggins in the house says Liberty money line for Tone Miggins. Sammy Commerce sees 26% of tickets and 66% of the cash on Washington. Let's get over there. Wow. I don't have that. I don't like that and I don't have it. I am using the Action Network and not Sports Insights, but I have 45% of the tickets and 80% of the cash on the Wizards. 52% of tickets and 73% of cash on the under. 52 and 73, and this total has dropped down to 221. Detroit's on the second half of a back-to-back after snapping their 11-game losing streak last night in a 117-97 win home over the Pacers. Kuzma listed as questionable, right knee soreness. Washington's won 7 straight against the Pistons. Sorry, I did that twice here. Wizards coming off their third straight loss, 112-93 at Philadelphia on Sunday. Washington is now a half game behind the Bulls for 10th place in that final Eastern Conference play-in spot. Beal, Kristaps Porzingis, and Kuzma look bad. 34 points, 33 points below their usual output. Kispert went for 25, and Pistons will be playing the second half back-to-back. Take it away here, Pete. Any like or love for a spot here with Pistons Wizards?
Not really. I did have Detroit yesterday. Now they're on a back-to-back. I mean, it's obviously a Washington spot. The question is just, is this line too big? I don't know. Maybe first half. That's my take. Obviously Washington, and wondering if the line is just too big.
Take it away, Wham.
Yeah, maybe it is maybe it's a first half spot for Washington here. I think you maybe he's talking there. We get to cap this Detroit Pistons team all the time. And this is the worst they've been. You know what I'm saying?
Yesterday, though, I had a big bet on them, though. Yesterday was an obvious spot for them. Yeah.
Man, that was crazy. Because honestly, I wish I was able to I should have asked you yesterday. That's what I should have did. I should have went to ask you because I was confused on that game so much. And obviously I was reading it totally wrong. They blew them doors the fuck off there. Yeah. But neither here nor there. But today I'm kind of flabbergasted just based off of what happened yesterday. And I think that just because Kuzma's out, don't think that I don't expect that the Washington Wizards to play up for this game. You know what I mean? It's just tough because I thought the same damn thing with the Pacers, man. I thought they were going to be able to see a wounded dog and try to take advantage. But obviously, Killian Hayes came out crazy first quarter, 7 assists. Obviously that was a solid ass play if you hopped on this over 8.5 assists there. I don't even know what he ended up with. I'm sure he cashed that, but it was just looking ridiculous there. But as far as this game, I don't really want to put any money on this game. This is a tough game for me to be able to call. And like you said, it may be a little out of reach with this 12 premium spot for the Washington Wizards. I don't think that I want to lay money on any team with 12, let alone a team that's subpar as much as they are. So I'll stay away from that. And subpar as much as they are is very rhymes. I think that's a good bar right there. I just didn't, add that. I'm gonna add that on there. That's gonna be something I say a lot now.
Look at this, Dan Kelly. Washington first half team total under. Database loves it. Hates the play, but the database loves it, and they have a high win percentage.
58.5. I find that appealing.
58.
I find that very appealing. Washington first half team total over that Dan is on. Are either of you guys making any moves?
Nothing for me. But I really want to holler at Pete on this one. I wish I would have hollered at you yesterday about that.
Oh yeah, I mean it was late. I don't even remember when and it was mostly on the second half that my bet was though. Yeah. At the halftime.
Nice.
But that was I did have the over for the assist, but I also had the other guy, so I lost on that one. Lost the juice, but still, wow.
All right.
Under on this game seems very tempting also, though. Washington.
It does, doesn't it? It seems very tempting. All right, let's roll on. Next up for us, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, Denver Nuggets, 46-22, 16-16 on the road. At Toronto Raptors, 32-36, 20-13 at home. We're at Scotiabank Arena in Toronto, Ontario. Denver 2-3, playing at a pace over the past 5, 98.6 possessions a game, while Toronto 1-4, playing at a pace of 96.98 possessions a game. Raptors open up as 1.5-point favorites. No movement. Total-wise, it's opened up at 228.5. It's dropped 2 points to 226.5. Oh, did I say over? Sorry, my bad. First half team total under. Sorry, first half team total under for the Wizards, and full game under. Sorry, Dan, I didn't mean to mess it up, but thank you for making sure that's clear, very clear. So it's the Wizards first half team total under. And then I'm also interested in the full game under as well. Dan Kelly says Toronto on 3 days rest and first game after a trip. Let's talk about this spot here in Denver coming off their third straight loss, 122-120 at home to Brooklyn on Sunday. So we have the no movement on the spread, a slight 2-point move to the under on the total. And then cash-wise here, we have 61% of the tickets and 71% of the cash on the Raptors. 61 and 71. 76% of tickets and 70% cash on the over, and yet it's dropping. So 35 points, 20 boards, 11 assists from Jokic, and the Nuggets lose. Raptors finish off that disappointing 1-4 road trip by losing at the Lakers 122-112 on Friday night. Scotty Barnes goes for a career-high 32 with 9 boards and 7 assists, and Anunoby 31 for the Raptors. And that's the first time that Toronto has lost when 2 players have scored 30 or more points in the game. The first time they've lost since February 6, 2012. 11 years. Take it away here, Pete. Anything interest you?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. Coke and Devil Folk Gaming says Denver playing safe. They already locked up the number 1 spot, it seems. I was thinking maybe Denver first quarter or first half early and maybe under. It seems like both of these teams need this, but you think Denver is cruising now? I was under the impression that they were still playing with some urgency.
After 3 straight losses.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, after 3 straight losses, I mean, and especially losing to San Antonio, that one is definitely glaring. But both these teams has lost the last 3 games. I think the Lakers one was just obviously the guys just got hot, was cooking. And against the Brooklyn game, I mean, Denver definitely could have won that game. It was just some bonehead shit down the stretch, missed free throws, and Jokic not able to close the game out. You know what I mean? I think he called for the ball at the end just to shoot a fadeaway 3 in the corner. Like, what are you doing? Like, what are we doing? Like, are they punting? Are they just playing around? Is this garbage time basketball that we're seeing from them? I don't know, but I think that Toronto just for sure is a bad matchup for them. I'll say that because I do know that we have the long wings, especially them coming off them good games. I want to hear from you though, Jimmy. I wanted to see your confidence here. I think that if I'm a Raptors fan, I think we definitely have a great chance to, put the paws out on this Denver team and show up in this game. But that's the thing, like, it's the Raptors, and they've been showing us like kind of like up and down all year. This could be a game that they don't take advantage of their advantage in the wing spot, which I think they are going to be able to hold off here. But I think the over probably is a better play here. I think no defense. I can only see defense from the Raptors. That's the reason why I'm leaning towards the Raptors. I can only see defense from the Raptors here. Think it may be a bad spot just for Denver based off of that as well. So I do like the over. I know it has hit 6 of the last 7 meetings within this between these 2 teams. So, it's a little historic trend there in regard to it. But that's the only way I was looking here. But as far as the side, I really wanted to talk to you and see where your confidence is in your team, bro, because I think that the Raptors are to play here.
The market's telling us that they are, but the market told us they were to play against the Lakers, and I wanted nothing to do with them there. I didn't take the other side, but the Sharps were all over the Raptors against the Lakers, and it's like, really?
Right.
Well,
where I was at.
Yeah, it surprised me. BJ loving the Raptors tonight. Shout out to Officer of 50 Ayashi. I love my man Robert Cherry in the house. Go get that cash today, Robert, my guy. Look, Denver's lost 3 straight games, and I don't trust the Raptors. If Denver had come in with 3 straight wins, then I'd be much, much more comfortable taking the Raptors. Yeah, look, I know that Denver's just trying to stay healthy, but still, I have deja vu from the Lakers game, and I don't want. I guess with the amount of days off, you're getting at least an extra day because they're coming back from the West Coast, and it was an ugly 1-4 trip. I think that if I had a free bet,
right,
I would take the Raptors here, but I'm not going to put my money on them. They don't deserve my money. They're just perennial underachievers all year, and I don't. Do you have a Nuggets team that's lost 3 straight? Are they going to be comfortable losing 4 straight?
Right.
So I just, this just feels like the Lakers game to me.
They are 16-11 as a home favorite, so they do got a good record being a home favorite. As far as what Coke and Devil folk gaming was saying.
King CB says can't trust Denver right now. I get it. I don't want anything.
For sure.
I don't want. There's nothing that really appeals to me, and I don't want to put my money on the Raptors personally. Here, coming back from a Western swing when they went out, in LA, on Friday night. So I just I'm not interested. Are either of you guys making anything official?
No, total pass for me.
Yeah, it's a pass for me too. I didn't even want to go and indulge on any props. I think Fred VanVleet has a good game here, but that's the only way I would be thinking here. But nothing here at all. Backwood.
Let's move on to your Los Angeles Lakers here. Opening up as 1 point favorites. 1 point dogs. On the road at the Pelicans. There has been a 7-cent move towards them at +1. Probably take a look at the money line and get a better idea. Money line, they opened up at -100. They're now -108. Totals wise, it's opened up at 225.5. It's gone up a half point to 226. Let's take a look at the cash. Bo Jackson says Scotty will ball out tonight. That's another thing. I personally don't ever want a player after a career high. He's making up for some lost time. He's not had a great year, but he's turning it around. 82% of the tickets and 86% of the cash on the Lakers, but it's a lot of money on the Lakers and the market not really moving towards them. 85% of tickets and 89% of cash on the over. 85 and 89, and it's gone up a half point. That's not very doesn't add to confidence. Lakers 3-2 over the past 5, playing the pace 100 possessions a game, 100.3. Pelicans 2-3, playing the pace 99.2 possessions a game. Lakers had their 3-game winning streak snapped in a 112-108 loss at home to the Knicks on Sunday. LeBron, who's now is at least out another 2 weeks, but there has been rumors that Dan Kelly was talking about that he could not come back this year. AD has been very good of late, but past 2 games have been more of a struggle. He was just rolling for the 5 games before that. He did have 16 boards, but very low scoring output. I guess that's a good sign that the Lakers are still in these games and playing good basketball when there's no LeBron on the court and AD is not scoring a ton. D'Angelo Russell went for 33. Pelicans coming off their second win in 3 games, 127-110 at home over the Blazers on Sunday. Who's not beating the Blazers? Everybody beating the Blazers these days. Take it away for us here, Pete. Anything interest you in Lakers Pelicans?
I mean, my take on this one was the perfect, public way of analyzing this one. I'm like, Lakers are pretty good. New Orleans is pretty much not that good. Of course you take the Lakers. That's why all the money's come in on them, I guess. But is that wrong? I don't know. That was my basic 2-second take. The good, awesome versus sucks dichotomy analysis.
And Big Mastro here with the Lakers trifecta spot. First quarter, first half, full game. Wham Bam, take it away. Lakers Pelicanos.
Man, how important is this game for both teams? One is in the 10th spot. One is in the 9th spot. Both 13 games back. Just about 2.5 games back from the 6th spot from the Clippers. This is a tough game. This is going to be a tough game. Don't get me wrong. I don't think the Lakers are going to just walk in here steamroll on this team. I think Valanciunas is going to have a pretty good game here. I think C.J. McCollum is going to have a pretty good game as well. But that's where it's going to have to stop, though. I mean, we got to think about it, man. Like, this team is just a lot deeper than people will want to give credit for. Obviously, they're going to lose against that team. The team with the Knicks, I think that game, it was more so like they really felt like they had a punt game. They had a game that they could punt. I don't know why after I rewatched it, because obviously it was on the stream, Jimmy. But once I rewatched it, and I know I said it a couple of times, but why weren't we using AD like we have been when D'Lo was out? We haven't been running those pick and rolls. We're not trying to give him the easier passes that Shooter was setting up. That was my issue here. I think you get back to that because you're going up against a team that's going to try to get inside the paint, that's going to try to get easier mid-range type of jumpers here. And you're going to be able to continue to play really good defense, I think the Lakers is. And that's one thing that they have been able to hang their hat on since LeBron has been out. They actually got guys that's going to play defense. You know what I mean? Like, LeBron gives out so many possessions, so many times he's giving up a fast break. You got guys that's running back down. Now they're ranked 3rd in defensive rating over the last 5 games. And then you're holding opponents to, I believe, which is the 2nd lowest, 108.4 points. You got to get the Lakers. I like the Lakers a lot here. This is a official play for me. We're taking a money line here. I just think that the Lakers are going to take this game as much serious as anybody. Both teams, I think they're going to take this game really serious just based off of seeding. And on top of that, the Lakers have an easier schedule throughout here. So, they're playing against teams that are wounded. You got to take advantage of that. I think AD gets back to what he was doing. He has a monster night tonight against his old team in the New Orleans Pelicans. Don't go back to the Pelicans, bro. You're gonna go back to the Pelicans, bro. If you don't play good, AD, I'm really honest. I'm gonna be honest here. You played all right, but from what I'm hearing, man, they're okay with trading your ass. You know what I'm saying? They might be okay with trading your ass. So you need the ball out, especially against your old team here. So obviously they don't have that many road games, as well for the rest of the year. This is a road game. They got to take care of business here. So give me the Lakers officially. You said best available is -108. I'll take that, bro.
And Big Mastro 68 with a great comment. AD took the blame for last game, and he's going back to New Orleans. Tone Miggins likes AD props, points, rebounds, assists over for 1 unit.
Wham! I can get you a -105, so we'll give you that. Wham!
Good.
Lakers -105. All right, let's roll.
I don't know if I want to triple up, but you can give me a Lakers first half plus a half -113. Current line at Pinnacle. Lakers first half plus a half -113. So if it's a tie, I get a win on it.
Nice.
You are locked in, Pete. All right, let's move on to the next spot on the board. We'll let our guy BJ lead us into it. He was at work, but he came into the chat to let us know that the Thunder money line was his best bet of the day, putting 500 bones on the Thunder money line. Brooklyn Nets 39-29, 20-17 on the road at Oklahoma City Thunder, 33-35, 20-15 at home. We're at Paycom Center in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Let's start with the line history here for this one. Very, very tight line again here. The Thunder opening up at -2, -105. They're now -1.5 at even money. So a slight move towards Brooklyn. Total wise, it's opened up at 231.5. It's now 233.5, 231 to 233. Cash wise here, we have, where is it? Sorry. Here we go. 65% of the tickets and 73% of the cash is on the Thunder. The market is slightly moving towards Brooklyn. 86% of the tickets and 99% of the cash on the over. And it's gone up 2 points. So, wow. Thunder, both teams looked very bad after the All-Star break. Thunder lost their first 5, Nets lost their first 4, and both teams have won 5 of 6 since. Nuggets coming off their second straight win, 122-120 at the Nets coming off their second straight win, 122-120 at the Nuggets on Sunday. Thunder coming off their second straight win, 102-90 at the Spurs on Sunday. Shea is rolling. His past 3 games, 35.3 points per game. But he has set out 2 games during that stretch, and he's missed the second half of back-to-backs both times. Jalen Williams averaging 22.5 points, 5.5 rebounds, and 5.3 assists, and shooting 60.7% from the floor over his last 4 games. What do you think here, Pete? Do you also have interest in the Thunder, Nets Thunder?
I don't know. I think both these teams are playing with urgency, but I think I like Spencer Dinwiddie props. I don't shout out too many props here, but it's pretty clear like how things are shaking out for the Nets, and then Dinwiddie's getting a lot of production and producing. I think I kind of like over assists 7.5. It's a little bit juicy. I'm seeing like -150 at Will Hill. You might be able to get a little bit better other places, but I think a big game from Dinwiddie props. And I think I'll make the assists over an official play.
What was the juice on that?
I'll just use the Caesars line, which is probably a lot worse than a lot of other places. But over 7.5 -154. I'll take it though. I'll take it. I like it that much.
BJ says if Thunder win this game, they will officially be in the play-in spot. What do you think, Wham Bam? Thunder at home to Brooklyn.
Yeah, man. This is a great game. This is going to be a great game to watch, bro. You got Mikal Bridges playing out of his fucking mind, going crazy. And you get SGA coming back while they're already been winning as far as this OKC team, like you mentioned, Jim. Both teams winning 5 out of the last 6 games. That's crazy. Kind of want to punt for the Brooklyn Nets, kind of want to punt for this OKC team as well. Brooklyn Nets 5th right now in the standings. They've been playing really good. I think that I had Cameron Johnson over PRA 21.5 points. Very close of hitting that. Didn't hit that. It's kind of playing weird with him inside the lineup as far as Jacques Vaughn, the coach for the Nets. I expect him to get a lot more run today. So his over PRA is something I'm very close to going back to the well with. Just because I just want to give y'all that disclaimer. I might be playing that later on. You know, I kind of got a couple. I got NBA Pub Up today. Going to do some talking with our guy Billy and Dutch. So we'll have a little bit more locked in on that later on. But I'm going against everyone in the OKC. I do like that Shay's coming back. J-Dub, obviously, you said he's a stud, bro. Like, as far as OKC, they got one with J-Dub, Jalen Williams. They got one with him. Yeah, and if they win OKC, they definitely want to win this game. They're ranked 11th right now in the West, especially if the Lakers. I mean, whoever lose between the Lakers or the Pelicans, they're going to be bounced out the play-in picture if OKC wins this game as well. So OKC definitely wants to win this game. My thing is that I love what you said as well, Pete. I do like Spencer Dinwiddie. What he's been doing as far as distributing the ball. I think going to continue to do that. I just think that the guys are going to shoot the ball as well. Really good. They got way better bench, bro. I mean, Joe Harris, he's actually making shots now. Is he like allergic to stars around him or something? And now he's making shots again like he was prior to them coming. So I think he's going to be a good plus on the bench. Give me the plus money, man. I got plus 105 with Brooklyn Nets. I think that, you know, again, it's one unit, you know what I'm saying? It's one unit as well, like my boy said in the chat. It's a one unit play here, but I think that the Nets are just going to be the better team here, man. They're the better team. I think Mikal Bridges goes over the 2.5 3-point makes at plus money. That's another thing, prop I'm going to have to look into a little bit later on here, but officially we're going to be on Brooklyn Nets in this game. Brooklyn Nets money line.
Nets minus 105 on the money line. I can get you a plus.
Yeah, I got plus 105. I got plus 105.
Plus 105. Okay, I gave you plus 108.
108.
We'll give you plus 108 here. So let me move that here. That's at 5 dimes, plus 108. Dinwiddie over 7.5 assists for Pete. Kadesh says Shea goes to Toronto next game. That will be fun for us up here. Dave Edgerton's got Brooklyn OKC over 234.5 for a 3% play. Go get it, Dave. And and Kadesh says that Shea goes to Toronto next game. Don't think he's focused. Ready to see the crib. Interesting. That's an interesting take. All right. Wham Bam on Nets plus 108. Pete on Dinwiddie over 7.5 assists. Let's move on. 8 p.m. Eastern. Orlando Magic 28-40, 12-21 on the road at San Antonio Spurs 17-50, 11-23 at home at AT&T Center, San Antonio, Texas, where we will be in 11 days. 11 days for UFC San Antonio. Orlando 2-3, playing the pace of 101.68 possessions a game. San Antonio Spurs 2-3, playing the pace of 102.20 possessions a game. Let's get right to the line history here for this one. We have the Spurs opening up as 6-point home dogs, now 5.5. Totals wise, they opened up at 234 and it's dropped to 232. Take a look at the cash flow on this one. Cash wise, 67% of the tickets and 96% of the cash is on the Orlando Magic. 96% of the cash, and it's moved a half point towards the Spurs. Can't be feeling too good about your Magic action thinking about those numbers. 74% of the tickets and 86% of the cash is on the over. 74 and 86. Wow. And this total has dropped 2 points. So the market opening up their arms to whoever is betting the Magic or the over. Orlando snapped their 3-game losing streak on Saturday, defeating the Heat at home 126-114 in overtime. Wendell Carter Jr., and that was the spot that Sammy Comer was on. Great job, Sammy. Wendell Carter Jr., double-double, 27 and 11. Banchero, 17 and 10. Franz Wagner, 17. Suggs and Cole Anthony, 16 each. Fultz, 12. Harris, 11. Pretty deep squad. Spurs followed up their surprise 128-120 win at home over Denver by getting back to their losing ways, 102-90 at home to the Thunder on Sunday. So no Keldon Johnson, no Jeremy Sohan, no Trey Jones. Zach Collins led with 23 points and 11 boards. Devontae Graham, 20 points. Bates Diop, 12. McDermott, 11. The Spurs were down 17 early in the second quarter and then, put it into a tie game, but then got hurt. Sammy Comer says, yeah, I don't get why this is Orlando -7. Mally Mal saying this is a weird Magic team. Pistol Pete, anything interest you here in Magic Spurs?
I don't know. I mean, all those guys are supposed to be back, right? Johnson, Trey Jones, they're all supposed to be back, right?
Let me double check.
I think Trey Jones is still out, but Shohan and Johnson may be back.
Yeah. Again, it seemed a little weird to me. I know the Magic are playing for the playoffs, but I was thinking Spurs first half. Want to hear what you guys have to say about it, but I was thinking Spurs first half.
Take it away, Wham.
Yeah, I only like a prop in this game. I don't want to touch the side. I think it's just a wobbler like it couldn't be. But I think Markelle Fultz, I mean, he's shown that he's playing really well. I think Markelle Fultz over points, rebounds, and assists, even though it hasn't hit over the last 10 games. I think only hit 2 of the last 10 games. I just think you're going up against a team that's just terrible at giving up points, rebounds, and assists to guards. And they just show you that they don't have, defenders at that position there. So you're just going to be able to do what he wants. I expect him to kind of do what he wants here, especially without Franz Wagner. I think he will be out. He's questionable. He's questionable here, but I think he's on the tier end of being out, if I'm not mistaken. I think the reports are getting a little bit more on the negative side for him. So I think he may be out more so than anything. So that's what's pushing me towards the spot here with Markelle Fultz. And it's pretty low. I think it's at 23.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Last time I checked there. So that's what I was looking here, but nothing official here for me, just because I think that, I don't want to pay these type of numbers here for the Orlando Magic. That's for sure. And then they're going up against this team in the Spurs. I don't know when they're going to play up. I don't know when they're going to play good. I don't know what lineup Doc is going to be running out there. You could catch Shohan and Johnson come both back and they both get 40 points, you know what I'm saying? Or 30 points for Shohan and then 40 points from Johnson, and it makes a big difference for this team. So it's tough to figure it out, in my opinion. I think the Spurs are just one of the trickier teams here. So I'm with Abel as far as side is going to be a backwood, but I'm kind of I'm kind of close to pulling that Markelle Fultz. I just want to, kind of finalize my car here before I add any props yet. So the only prop that I did add was Nick Richards. Other than that, I only got size for the day. So I'm going to add some more props later on throughout the day.
I mean, this is just, you have 4% of the money on the Spurs that's moved half point towards them. You have 14% of cash on the under, and it's moved 2 points.
Yeah, Jim, you know what? You can put on Spurs first half +3 -116 for me. That's the line of Pinnacle right now. Spurs first half +3 -116. I'll make that official.
Spurs first half +3
-116.
God, it's like I just don't want to sit here and make these bets solely based on the market and not correlating with my own actions. So I won't. I'm going to put a bunch of X's beside it so that I don't just do it. But right. I'll leave it there so that I can think about it all night long. Okay, let's move on. We have 2 games left on the NBA card before we put a bow on this show. 10 p.m. Eastern, the Milwaukee Bucks, 48-19, 20-13 on the road at the Phoenix Suns, 37-30, 22-11 at home, Footprint Center in Phoenix, Arizona. I told everybody 4 or 5 times, I kept saying, don't take the Suns futures yet. Wait until the first game of the playoffs. I kept saying over and over again because you got Bambi out there and you can't. He's a spectacular basketball player, but if you just can't trust his health, then you just can't put money on a future bet. Let's see what's going on line history-wise here. We have Milwaukee opening up at -1. He's now -1.5. They're -1.5. They got to -2. They're -2 for a while, but they're sitting at -1.5 right now. Totals-wise, it's opened up at 231.5. It's up a half point to 232. Go over to the cash flow here for this one. You have 20% of tickets on the Suns and 88% of the cash. Wow. 20 and 88. And there's been a half point move to the Bucks. Very confusing. Total wise, we have 52% of tickets on the under and 98% of cash. Just an enormous amount of money on the under, and it's gone up a half point. So very confusing. market analysis there. Milwaukee 4-1 over their past 5, playing the pace 103.93 possessions a game. Phoenix playing slower, 3-2, 98.9 possessions a game. Milwaukee bounced back from their 125-116 overtime loss at Golden State by coming from behind to win at Sacramento last night, 133-124. So second half of a back-to-back. There are questions about whether Lopez will be available here. Ejected in the final seconds. Questions about whether he'll be suspended following his dust up with Trey Lyles. Lopez playing very good basketball. 23 points, 8 boards, 4 assists, 3 blocks. I mean, he's just all over the place. And Antetokounmpo returned to the lineup on Monday. He'd missed 3 games due to right hand soreness. He finished with 46-12. Middleton had 31-9, 9 being assists. Very impressive. Bucks have won 10 of their last 11 road games, looking to complete the season sweep of Phoenix. Suns come in off a 123-112 loss at the Warriors last night, so both teams on the second half back-to-backs. Phoenix has lost 2 straight following that 4-game winning streak. Book went for 32, 8 and 27-12. Take it away for us here, Pete. Anything interest you?
I have no idea. I know Middleton's out, right?
No, he's in.
Oh, he's in? Oh, I thought he was going to be out.
It said will likely be rested, but
okay.
maybe
I don't have him on the thing. Okay, maybe.
I assume Middleton was going to be out. Is Giannis going to start? Is he going to play?
Middleton is doubtful and
Doubtful.
Antetokounmpo is questionable.
I have no. How could I possibly give it? If you gave me a free play on it, though, I'd take Phoenix as a dog right now.
I want to jump with you on that Orlando Spurs under, Dan. Maybe you're giving me enough to move on it. I'm going to copy and paste that, Dan. Thank you for doing that because I wanted to move on it. What do you think, Wham? Are the Suns a really nice spot here on the second half of a back-to-back at home against a Bucks team that won't have Middleton and maybe won't have Giannis?
I think Giannis is going to play. Middleton, I didn't think they was going to. I thought they was going to run him, but obviously you don't want to play around with Middleton right before the playoffs. Just let him run. Since Giannis has been out, I think he's going to probably play here. The Bucks, off of back-to-back, they've shown they're the best team in the league, bro, off of back-to-back, especially covering-wise, 8-0-1, and 9-0 if you caught it a little earlier on the trend there. So I think that this team and the Phoenix Suns. This is the game that you know what, I ain't gonna lie to you. As far as this is a definite must-win game, bro. This has to be a must-win game if you think about it, bro. It's nothing too serious. Obviously you're gonna be straight winning this game or not, as far as playoffs situations wise, but you don't want to lose this 4th spot. You know what I mean? You don't want to lose the 4th spot in the West, especially to the Golden State Warriors. You don't want to lose that spot. You want to keep that as much as you can. And I think shout out to BJ. He said the Suns need KD. I think they do need KD. It's just only going to be so much. We've seen it so many times, so many years. It's only so much you could do and how far you could go with Devin Booker here. I like this Bucks team here, and I'm willing to take them as a money line right now. I think that they're going to win this game. I think Giannis is going to play. We already know what type of time they're on when they are for back-to-back. Even if he doesn't play, I'm not going to lie. I wouldn't be surprised if they still win without Giannis. Obviously, we could have got a better number here, but I still think that even if Giannis doesn't play, I think they still can win this game with just Drew Holiday going crazy, where he has been. And then as long as Bobby Portis is out there, I think they're going to continue to have the advantage down low. And I think that Brook Lopez is appealing. That's the reason why he's going to be available in this game, because he appealed, any ruling there. So he's going to be able to play this game, but maybe, get suspended the next game following that. So I think that alone, it is. If Giannis is out, let's just say this. I think Greek is playing as well, Molly, but that's why I think they're favorite. And here I got it -125 is money line there. So you're getting better. That's cool. But I think that if he's out, I'm going straight to Brook Lopez props, points, rebounds, and assists over threes. He's going to try to bring Aiden out the line. Obviously, Aiden can't guard the perimeter. Probably going to have to guard Brook Lopez in that perimeter spot. So I like the Bucks, man. Again, I wouldn't be if he doesn't play. I wouldn't be surprised if they win either. You know what I'm saying? We probably just need to. If you believe that, just wait. You may get a better number, but I'm not going to wait. I think Giannis plays here, so give me the money line for the Bucks.
Bucks money line. Let's get that for you right now. Before we get into Knicks Blazers, the final game on the board, the best money line we can get you is at Pinnacle -113 for
sure.
the Bucks. Wham. And anything for you, official Pete, on that one?
No, definitely not.
Wham. Bucks minus 113. All right, let's move on here. Let's move on to the final spot on the board. The New York Knicks, 40-30, 21-14 on the road at Portland Trailblazers, 31-37, 17-15 at home. Moda Center in Portland, Oregon. All right, let's go into the line history here for this one. This one opened up with the Blazers +2. They're now +2.5. Total wise, it's opened up at 228, which is exactly where it is right now. No movement. Take a look at the cash flow here. We have 20% of the tickets and 48% of the cash on the Blazers. So bigger bets have come in on the Blazers. Still a half-point move towards the Knicks. Total-wise, just 31% of tickets on the under, but 77% of cash. 31 and 77. And what happened with that total? That total has not moved. All right. So let's set the table quick. Both teams 2-3 over the past 5. Knicks playing at the pace 96 possessions a game. Portland 100.5 possessions a game. Portland, from Dan Kelly, says Portland's first game home after a tough trip means Knicks or nothing. And Bo Jackson has tonight Women Empowerment Night at the Raptors game. Here, Knicks snapped their 3-game losing streak of a 112-108 win at the Lakers on Sunday. Randall went for 33. RJ Barrett, 30. He's gone for 25 or more in 4 of his past 5 games. Blazers coming off a third straight loss, 127-110 at the Pelicans on Sunday. Damian Lillard, surprise, calf tightness. Missed out on the 127-120 road loss at Pelicans. So, that's just what he does, man. At what point do we start saying you're the problem? Wham, take it away. Oh, sorry, Pete. Any thoughts on Knicks Blazers?
No. So is Lillard out? Lillard's out, right?
We don't know yet, I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
I would take Knicks early, first quarter or first half.
Yeah, I get the bigger bets being placed on Portland makes me think that Dame is going to be in. Someone knows that Dame is going to be in. That's the only thing here for me that's kind of keeps me hesitant. But I can understand what Dan's saying. First game home after a trip for Portland. Take it away, Wham Bam. Final game on our board, Knicks Blazers.
Yeah, Abel says Knicks. Sam Comer says that's his top play for the day. I seen him put that in there earlier today in the chat. I mean, when he said that, I was like, man, maybe I need to be on the Knicks. You know how Sammy is, bro. He's sharp as it gets, bro. And that rubbed me the wrong way, honestly, because I think if Dame is playing, you know what I mean. I think Jeremy Grant ruled out as well. I forgot. I think he was questionable.
I'll pull it up right now.
Let me double check. I thought I had that up here. Sorry, guys. So yeah, I think he's questionable as well with a quadricep, dealing with a quadricep contusion here. So I mean, it's a fucking wobbler, man. Shout out to AOD. Yes, Comer is the GOAT, bro. And if those guys are out, cancel Christmas, bro, for Portland Trailblazers. Man, they're gonna get smacked up. I believe, because we know the Knicks, they held it down against the Lakers. They could do the same thing against this team. I mean, I think the Lakers are a better team than the Portland Trailblazers, especially if you don't have Dame out there. So, I think the Knicks might be a spot here. I haven't bet that yet, but that's probably how I'm going to be leaning there towards the end of the day. As soon as he said it, as soon as Sammy said that, he kind of just threw me all the way off, because I was under the impression that Dame may be playing too, just as much like you were saying there. I think that the line is kind of telling it being a short line is that Dame is going to be playing in this game. That's how I was originally looking here. But, hey, man, a shout out to y'all, man. The chat definitely giving me a good idea. I think the Knicks may be a spot. You probably want to hit them right now. And then the announcement comes down and we're going to be kicking ourselves just like I was with that Darius Garland. I'm still pissed off about that.
Look at this. Dan Kelly likes Portland team total under.
Yeah, and I'll move on that as soon as Dame's announced in. Get a better number.
Nice. Yeah, I agree.
I'm gonna wait and watch it. And you know what? Even if he's not in, maybe it works either way.
Either way, yeah.
But it could be better if he's announced in. Anything for you guys here officially?
Wow, Dan Kelly saying he's going to find an alt number and get the under 106. That is a very strong opinion there.
Dude, wow.
Ooh,
man,
that's a palatable opinion there, man.
Shout out to Dan.
Yeah,
Jesus.
Well, I'll pass for right now.
Wow.
Shout out to Dan Kelly, man.
Well, Getting an alt.
Shout out to
Okay, I
Abel.
gotta getting an alt at 106. All right, let's review all action in NBA and then put a bow on this show. One more show after this until we're all hanging out together in San Antonio. I'm moving on the Hornets first quarter in full game. Pete's on the Hornets first quarter +2. Wham's on Nick Richards dub +150. Dan's on the Wizards first half team total under. I'd like to join him. Is that right, Dan? I might have put that wrong.
Yeah, first half team total under, he
okay,
said.
for Dan. Okay, yeah, I'd like to join you on that. And I'd also like the full game under in this one. Then Nuggets, Raptors, I'm off. Wham is on the Lakers, money line -105. Pete's on the Lakers first half +0.5, -113. I'm off that. Pete's on Dinwiddie over 7.5 assists. Wham's on the Nets +108. And the best bet of the day for our BJ is Thunder money line. Then Dan is on Orlando, San Antonio under 233.5. I want to join him and will join him. I just needed to be pushed more in that direction. Pete's on the Spurs first half +3 at -116. I have some interest in the Spurs, but Wham's on the Bucks money line at -113. Dan says is on Portland team total under. I think I'd like that too, but I'd like Lillard to be in. And that is our NBA breakdowns. Wham Bam will be back in action here on NBA Pub Hub in a few short hours. Wham, thank you for sharing your hard work with us. Let's just stick around here while we put a bow on this. In NHL, I'm on the Hurricanes puck line at +120. Pete's on the Hurricanes -1 at -125. I'm on the Rangers -1 at -110. Pete's on the Capitals first period at +130. Dom liking the over. I'm taking another look at that. I'm on the under 6.5 -105 in Tampa, New Jersey. I love that look. Pete's on the Devils -1 at +124. I'm thinking of adding the under in Vegas, Philadelphia. I need a little bit more time. Ron Crawford spreadsheet play today is Vegas. Pete's on Pittsburgh -1 at -261. I have some interest in Canadians first period, but to actually bet it, I don't know if I will. In fact, I don't know. It +200, it does seem a little appealing here. Red Wings, Predators, no action for us, but I wish I could take the Red Wings. Pete's on the Blackhawks +2.5 -125. Ottawa, Edmonton, we stayed off. Pete's on the Coyotes +2 at -169. Dallas, Vancouver, we stayed off. And the one thing I am adding is the Kings -1. Pete's
No, I took team total over 2.5 -147, Vancouver.
Oh, yeah. My bad. Here. Sorry. Thank you, Pete. That's why we do this. Pete is on the Canucks. Team total over 2.5 at -147. Thank you. Bo Jackson on Hurricane and Raptors money line. Viper, thank you, my friend. Abel A on the LA parlay, Lakers and Kings money line. Bo Jackson on the Raptors first quarter as well. So then we have Sharpie. Sharpie's on the Guardians -1.5 at +115 and Bieber over 4 strikeouts for Sharpie. Kyle Hintley has 5K on Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Pete is on the first half under 74 -118 in that one. Pete's on Pittsburgh.
Hey, Jim, did you put in Columbus -1 +217?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. That's how you close everything out.
Okay.
And then Pete's on Pittsburgh first half +1 and full game +3. I'm moving on the over in Pittsburgh, Mississippi State. Then Pete's on Hofstra first half +4 and full game +7. I'm going to join the full game. Pete's on Toledo first half +4. I wonder if it's moved too many points, but I'm very interested in Toledo. I'm interested in the over in Southern Miss UAB, but Noli leaning under is giving me pause. Pete's on UAB team total over 81.5. I imagine if Pete catches that, I'll cash mine. DC Cappers on Liberty -3 and the under. Pete's on the first half under 69.5 with Yale Vandy. Pete's on Bradley first half +1.5. Eastern Washington, we stayed off. Pete's on the first half under 64 -120 and the full game under 136 -119 in Seton Hall, Colorado. And I would like to look at that under. I am interested in that under as well, the full game under. Then Cab added Auburn first half money line, Arkansas first half -0.5, USC first half +1, Miami first half -0.5, full game -2.5, Memphis full game -1.5. Tease also gave us Charleston +5.5 on Thursday in the money line. And that, my friends, is our show for today. Thank you all for supporting us here. Abel A, Dan Kelly says you can find props on Lamar Stevens. He could have a huge game with no Allen and Mitchell. AOD, Nasty Nate, Millsy, Bo Jackson, Viper NB. Tell me you didn't just say that. Dave Edgington. What a great group. Johnny K, Coke and Devil Folk. Thank you all. BJ, Mally Mal, Terrell Riley, Trell Riley, thank you, man. All of you guys, thank you so much for your support. Andrew G, Sammy Comer, Kadesh, Dean, OKD in the house, Big Mastro. Thank you guys. Pete, we are a little over a week before we're all going to be hanging out in person. I can't wait.
Oh, yeah.
I'm very, very, very excited. Wham Bam, can you please leche us into the future and bless all of our wagers?
To everyone that's going to be out there in San Antonio within a week and a half, man, we going to be there live and direct, myself, Loshak, and Jimmy. Until then, let's keep cashing. And while we doing that, leche a los bookmakers.
Get it.